Streaming. Thank God I put that fan on. That thing is... What's going on, everybody? We're back. Friday. Fitness Friday. Did I do some fitness? Oh, I trained, but I... Oh, there we go. That's my voice. Yeah, I get hot in here. I got that light. Got a light on me. I'd be hot in here. What was I about to say? Yeah, turn the fan on. Thank God. I'd be sweating in here. I think I was streaming yesterday. I was sweating. I sweat when I start ranting. I got some Costco pizza, so I'm gonna start eating a little bit of Costco pizza. What we got today? We got Don Bell, we got Mikey, we got Craig Jones, we got some other stuff. So we'll go as long as I can. I don't know if I'll do 3 hours today. I'm already tired. Maybe I will do 3 hours. Wait for some more people to get in this live stream. Until then, I'm gonna enjoy some Costco pizza. It's good. Fitness Friday, people. We got a nice little story with Don Bell. I'm not going to say I agree with Don Bell, but I respect his viewpoint. I don't think anybody's on right now, but that's all good. We'll let people jump in. If you guys want to jump in the chat, go ahead. Yeah, I'm eating my food. Mukbang. That reminds me, we got to donate to something too. A couple of things. Fitness Friday, guys. I'm eating some Costco pizza. Patrick T, what's up, bro? Phoenix, Arizona, bro. We got a Don Bell on here. I'm sorry I'm smacking people. I'm hungry. Either I don't eat. You guys don't want me to eat. I got to get some food, bro. I need calories to run. That Costco pizza good. And it's so cheap. We covered this story before. I'm gonna let you guys watch it. I think he's got it on, and then we'll read what Dom says, and we'll read some comments. I thought it was, I don't know, you guys heard what I thought, so let's just watch the video first again. If you're squeamish, you don't want to see someone's leg get broken or anything, just don't watch it, okay? I'm gonna warn you right now, just don't watch it, okay? If you haven't seen it already. Josiah, what's up, man? If you eating, I'm about to eat, but that ain't gonna stop me. We're gonna watch that leg break one more time.
Give him space. Woo!
Fitness Friday.
Back up.
Okay, I've seen this clip circulating around a bit. It's a guy, looks like he's training with another guy, slaps on an outside heel hook, breaks it. Graphic. The reaction I'm seeing from a lot of people is like, oh, this guy's a dick. This guy's an asshole. Like, he cranked it. He gave him no time to tap. Okay, here's the thing. This is the black belt advanced division in a jiu-jitsu competition for a cash prize. You can't incentivize violence more than taking it to the furthest skill level and then offering a cash prize in a sport where there is not a lot of money. You're going to get people going for the submission, especially if it's open invite. The difference between jiu-jitsu training and jiu-jitsu competition is in training, you look out for your training partner. You don't crank submissions in training. It's a mutually beneficial environment where you're looking out for each other's safety. Competition is the opposite. Competition, your whole goal is to hurt this person. That is our martial art. You're doing joint attacks. You're putting them to sleep. It is up to you and it is up to the opponent to take care of themselves so that jiu-jitsu can be fully expressed, and it is the most honest representation of who is the victor. If you're competing in the black belt advanced division, you need to understand the mechanics of the techniques that will be applied to you so that you know when it is time to tap. If you look at the guy's defense, I'm not like knocking him or anything. I'm just objectively looking at what he was doing. He's just observing him set up the submission. He's not doing any defensive movements. And like subconsciously, I think he's just waiting for it maybe to not work. But this is the most advanced division. That shit's going to work. Understanding the mechanics of the submissions that are going to be used on you in your division is super important, because this man should have tapped way sooner, especially if he's not using defensive measures. I don't know if he should have been in that division personally, if those submissions are allowed and he's not. He doesn't understand them enough to know when to tap. That's my 2 cents on it. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback on this, but I competed for a very long time, and competition, jiu-jitsu competition is no joke. People are trying to hurt you, so you gotta protect yourself. But that's it.
Let these guys work. Give them space. Woo!
I'm gonna keep chewing, guys. Don't give me a second. This Costco pizza good. What's Smasher? What's up? Shout out to Costco. That pizza. Mushmaster says it, but he didn't have any time to tap. I respect Don Bell, but I don't really agree with this. And I'm okay with people not agreeing. That's just life. We're gonna have disagreements, as long as we can have a dialogue. He shared his opinions. Let me read what he said, and I'll throw my words in there too. Says dick move or fair play. Can you guys see that? Let me move it up. Keep scrolling if you're squeamish. A little bit of context. This is a black belt advanced jiu-jitsu competition. It was brown and black. It was not just black belts. With a $1,000 cash prize. In this clip, we can see one man suffered a devastating injury due to a leg lock that was executed to completion. This begs the question, is this appropriate behavior for jiu-jitsu competition? How far are you meant to go with your submissions when you're competing in jiu-jitsu? First, I want to say that this injury is tragic. That's what they say before they blame you. They victim blame. I've heel hooked people at the highest levels and didn't injure them. Yeah, how are we injuring? How are we not getting injured? They just, yeah. I mean, it's clearly the other dude's fault, but they're not really defending him, but they're kind of blaming the other dude that didn't know what was going on. Tragic. Injury was tragic, and in no way am I trying to bring negative light to these competitors. We probably should. I would. That's what I did with my channel. I was on that dude's channel. I was like, who is this guy? Who is this dude for Checkmat? I was like, where is this guy training at? He trained with the Checkmat. He trained with what's the kid that won lightweight? I can't remember his name, bro. Mateus Gabriel. Apparently he be breaking people off too. That karma catch up to you. It says, but I think it serves as an example to for others in framing competitive martial arts and what is expected of you. I'll get back to that. Don Bell, I'm not trying to attack you, Don Bell. I just don't agree. After competing for well over a decade at the highest levels of jiu-jitsu, I'm going to tell you the biggest difference between training jiu-jitsu and competing in jiu-jitsu. When you're training in jiu-jitsu, it is your job to look out for your safety, for the safety of your training partners and the people around you. When you are competing in jiu-jitsu, it is your job to look out for the safety of yourself. This means recognizing danger and using the verbal or physical tap to stop action and relinquish victory to the opponent. You should not compete in a division where you cannot recognize the danger you are in. Also, being aware that when you compete, there's always a risk, even with the ability to stop action at any time. Jiu-jitsu competition is meant to be an arena to test the fullest expression of a martial art, where the sole goal is to control or incapacitate them. What kind of jiu-jitsu he doing? Why are you talking like this? Well, he trained at Atos. You know how the people at Atos be. So take that with a grain of salt. If they train at Checkmat, Atos, some fight sports, you're not gonna get the same level of care and empathy. You're not getting any empathy for people that train at fight sports. Man, brother, why are you going so hard, man? They don't say that at fight sports. They just fight until you get paralyzed. They go so hard you get paralyzed. You're gonna get paralyzed and they blame you at fight sports. They paralyze you and it's your fault. All right, let me keep going. Jiu-jitsu is meant to be an arena to test the fullest expression of a martial art where the sole goal is to control or incapacitate them. Is that true? I never heard about the incapacitate people. I thought you're just trying to win within the rules, get a submission, and the whole point of submissions is, all right, I got you, bro. I'm gonna let you tap out now. But you always supposed to give people a chance to tap out. It is an excellent test of mental fortitude, overcoming challenges, preparation, and execution, and can bring a lot of direction to your practice, but it is not to be taken lightly. It's a sport. What are you guys why are you trying to incapacitate people in a sport? Some of these guys try to kill you, bro. You go out there, you think you're going to have a good time. Checkmate dude got there easily and had control. He ain't have to do all. Yeah, for sure. Look at it's. I mean, you say it was someone else. It was a woman or a kid. That Brazilian would have done the same thing, and these guys would be here defending him. I mean, when you're training, you can see, oh, this older dude. Of course, you're gonna win, Brazilian guy. You don't. He didn't have to do that heel hook. He could have done any technique. He could have gone a single leg X, swept him over, Marcelo Garcia style or something. It would have been over. It's crazy. Like a little bit of money. I mean, the money don't really change it. It's $1,000. Sound like the Brazilian dude really needed that $1,000. I'm not sure why he really needed that money, so he decided to go really hard on the older dude for no reason, and then he got kicked out. So all these people saying that was good. Well, the guy got kicked out of the tournament. He didn't make any money. I think he did get some gas money. That got this type of energy in BJJ, but won't do MMA. Yeah, why don't they do MMA? Yeah, they're really trying to beat up people. Well, go fight. You can make the $1,000. Dana White he'll give you $500 though. Go fight in the MMA or UFC or whatever. Get knocked out. So yeah, I don't understand it. I don't agree with that. I actually do like Don Bell. He's got some good content, but I don't agree with that. Even when you're competing, there's still rules. I can't slam people. I'm not supposed to. There's just rules. There's like spoken rules and unspoken rules. There's unsportsmanship. There's a need for control. You just can't be doing all this wild west stuff. And I don't know why people blaming the other guy. The other guy didn't know what was going on. Imagine it was a white belt. He didn't. Basically, what the guy was, he was a white belt in no-gi. He didn't know what was happening. And you telling me a black belt, the Brazilian black belt, couldn't tell? Hey, I think I'm more skilled than this guy. All right, let me not crank it. Let me go slow. So I see a lot of people defending. Whenever stuff like this happens, I tell you guys, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. You're gonna see some of your favorite grapplers over there commenting, and where the heck did the game go? It's pretty surprising sometimes. Where the heck the comments at? Josiah, what's going on? I saw you. Sorry, Josiah, I was ranting, bro. This makes me want to get back into martial arts again. Actually, this stuff makes people not want to do martial arts. Not only is it bad for the guy that got injured, it's bad marketing. A lot of people were scared. They're scared to compete. They don't want to compete no more. What the heck is going on? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. I had it earlier. Don Bell. The comments aren't coming up. They got some good comments on there. I'm trying to find them. Why can't I see the comments? Let me try to refresh it. Hope you guys doing well. Fitness Friday. Go get some exercise, train, run, walk, whatever you guys can do. I'm trying to figure out how to get this open. Why won't it open? Maybe if I zoom out. No. What the heck's going on? Let me try to duplicate it one more time. I really want to read those comments. Hey, Balea, what's up, bro? Balea, how you feel about this, man? Yeah, some people defending the other dude, the checkmate guy. I ain't defending him, though. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's my comments. Oh, those were the comments right there. Can you guys see? Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. You're going to see some people you recognize. I ain't going to call nobody's name out, so if I say that dude or this lady, I ain't trying to name nobody, okay? Let me get a little bit of bite of pizza. But I'm over here enjoying some Costco pizza, man. Let me chew a little bit, guys, and I'll start reading again. You know this is a real live stream, bro. I'm over here eating, drinking. I want Belay to start his own podcast or live stream, bro. The Brazilian's gonna come after you, though. Don't worry, guys. We got some Craig Jones. We got some Mikey. He tapped before the break. I think it was really close. It was the tap. You know, the tap where you scream. I mean, don't roll with that dude. Whatever that guy from Checkmat is, don't roll with him. Man, brother, man, he should have tapped, man. He breaks your leg. You should have tapped me in. Why didn't you tap out, man? Let's read some of these comments. One dude, I'm not going to read any. You might recognize some of the names. I try not to say the names. Craig Jones. Yeah, Craig Jones versus Mikey. Let's go. When I first saw it, I thought it was a roll at a gym, and a competitor guy went way too hard on an older dude and caught him by surprise. But with the context of a competition and cash prize, apparently cash prize means no more rules. They're going to kill you guys. Why they be trying to kill people? For $1,000. That Brazilian guy didn't get, all he got was gas money because he kept whining because he got kicked out of there. He's lucky he didn't get sued. It says, but with the context of a competition and a cash prize, that changes everything. In that case, the defender knows damn well the guy will show no mercy and should tap accordingly. He didn't know what was going on. Let's see, 1, 2, he probably, he didn't, that was pretty quick though. I mean, that could have happened to anybody. I for sure I ain't defending that guy from Checkmat dude. You should have tapped. Yeah, well, he didn't get a chance to tap. Can you give him a chance to tap? Completely agree. In-house gym competition for $1,000. A little bit of money. All right, if you guys aren't ready to compete, don't sign up for these tournaments with money because somebody's going to try to kill you. Saying cash prize is misleading. This was no big check. It was a couple bucks for having won a few rounds. $1,000 cash prize was offered for this tournament. In my opinion, the organizers created an unrealistic and dangerous expectation. Hey, here's a chill. I think they said that. Dom, I think they did say that. Maybe the Brazilian guy didn't understand. Man, I didn't understand, man. He didn't say in Portuguese. Hey, here's a chill tournament, kind of open mat vibes, but also we're going to allow anyone to join, offer $1,000 to the winner, and heel hooks are illegal. Don't try too hard, please. Oh, he's a little sarcasm there. Yeah, fair criticism. Don't crank stuff. Isn't any sort of objective criteria. Actually, it is. Yeah, don't crank anything. That tells me everything I need to know. He had 3 full seconds. He had 3 full seconds to tap. Sometimes, you get caught off guard or you didn't register. You don't know what's going on. Don Bell, mustache, pretty. He's looking like he's Italian. Got the Italian stash. I don't know what he's going for there, but you do what you want to do, bro. I can't talk. Look at my hair. What is the guy supposed to give him? 4 seconds, 5 seconds? I don't know. enough time to not break his shin. We all know if he gives him 10 seconds, then the guy definitely defends. Well, the thing is, the guy wasn't defending. People, they say context, but they don't even look at the person he's grappling against. So where is he supposed to draw the line as a competitor? I don't know, the point where he doesn't rip people's legs off. I've seen blue belt comps with cash prizes, and I was thinking, dude, someone is definitely going to the hospital. Yes, win $100K, or not $100K, win $1,000, $1K, but possibly get tens of thousands in medical bills and never walk the same again. No thanks. What I'm seeing with this video, a lot of people are getting scared of jiu-jitsu just from watching this. So nobody's really addressing that fact. All they think about is winning. They don't think about how the sport looks or how this is going to affect people outside looking in. You know, a lot of people in this sport pretty short-sighted. That's actually not true. A lot of the competitors are part of the community and would come to the coop to train. The person who applied the heel hook took it to another level. I competed in the white through purple belt comp for $500, and the expectations were set early on, and no one got injured. $1,000, you're right. There isn't enough money. That's a small number of months for gyms. Exactly this. Also, it was said, excuse me. Also, it was said that the referee could stop the matches at any time in case of danger. Man, I can't talk. It's clear that the hurt guy was not defending. That match should have been stopped earlier. Fine, but don't sign up if you're scared, or tap earlier if you're scared. It's advanced divisions for a reason. As far as I remember, the guy that got his leg destroyed, he was just trying to support the gym. He didn't want to do the tournament. He just wanted to support the gym. Make sure they had some bodies. And then he ended up getting his leg destroyed. I always tap early. You think that Brazilian guy going to let you tap? I don't blame you for that. They shut it down and kept the cash. If you believe... Costco Pizza got me. If you believe it's the responsibility of your opponent to give you grace in a competition and slow down their application can't talk, guys, sorry, and slow down their application of a technique for you, please do not compete in jiu-jitsu. Which I don't agree. You know, there's always a level of sportsmanship. You know, if you guys want to use these kind of rules, just go to MMA. Go to MMA, break people's legs, you know. At least the people in MMA got healthcare. Well, you know, UFC guys. I'm not sure about the other people. But even, you know, ADCC or IBJJF Worlds, there's still a level of control. You know, you're gonna make sure you got that submission locked in. But I mean, very rarely do you see someone get injured. Usually they're defending something too long, and that's how they get injured. But usually people always give you time to tap out. Even like the heel hook stuff, you still need to control it. Why are you guys competing like you have free healthcare? You know, I can't compete like that. This is the real question. I absolutely am not training or competing beyond a certain level until my healthcare situation is way better. Until I can respawn a new knee immediately, I'm tapping like chicken. That $1,000, but tens of thousands in medical bills. Nope. Always think that. Hey, Victoria, what's going on, girl? Free in the UK. I wouldn't want to be incapacitated for a minimum of 6 months and probably ACL surgery, even with the NHS. He tore his tibia and fibula. Are those the bones there? I might be wrong. Whatever, two bones in your leg, your shin. Especially if the cash prize is ridiculously low. Honestly, competition shouldn't be run without liability insurance. Somebody getting sued, possibly. For real, especially for probably a local tournament, get an injury that will change your life forever and the way you practice your favorite sport. Could he have applied the submission more slowly? Yes. Could the other guy have verbally tapped faster? Yes. He waited until his leg broke the tap. It's a good reminder that none of this is a game. Best comment so far. Both played a role. No one to blame. If you roll with some of these people, be careful, bro. They got no sense. they gonna hurt you, tear your leg off, and blame you for it. I want to know why I yelled the moment Jiu-Jitsu Giant touched. It says, want to know why I yelled the moment Jiu-Jitsu Giant touched my leg when 500K was on the line. That's why. Honestly, I heard a tap before the break. Watched several times. What got me is that, why did the dude look at the camera? Can you guys see that? Let me switch over. Why did he look at the camera? Was he planning on doing that earlier? I just really wonder. He looked at the camera. Is that a Gen Z thing? Yeah, but like millisecond before there was a literal break. Same here, definitely verbally tapped, and then the break happened a split second later. No, let's not start that. You hear the snap as he's pronouncing P and tap. He had 3 business days to tap early and roll again. The guys that say that, they don't even roll themselves. That's like buckling your seatbelt in the middle of a car crash. Well, the car is an inanimate object. That dude made the decision to destroy that guy's leg. He looked at that guy and he said, I'm going to destroy this guy's leg. I'm going to make sure this guy has to pay several $1,000s, tens of thousands of dollars in medical fees. Somebody said they're going to call ICE on that Brazilian guy. I'll call. Sorry. Things are already set in motion that cannot be stopped after a certain point. Then you have shit control and should probably stay off the mat. Oh, yeah, some of these guys, I don't trust most of these people. Anyone fully trained on that heel hook knows what's about to happen and should have full control not to let that happen. Usually you just hold it and people tap out. A lot of people are in here playing patty cake jiu-jitsu, and when it comes time to submit a joint lock, you need to have legitimate breaking mechanics or people will not tap. Bro, this dude's 40 plus years old. Why don't you do that against a young competitor, your skill level or better? The reality of competitive jiu-jitsu, I love hobby jiu-jitsu, but people don't understand in competition, if you can't actually threaten to break the joint, people will not tap. Yeah, but you still got to control it though, Dom. Imagine everybody got their leg broken. There would be no more competitive jiu-jitsu. Tapping when you know you're caught. Tapping when you feel pain. Oh, the different emojis. I've been in the other guy's position where I didn't want to tap and knew I should have. Hard lessons are hard forgot. I hope he recovers and gets back on the mat. Probably not. The way you guys talking, he probably should stay off the mats. I strongly disagree with you, my brother, because if this was a training, why go 100%? Training is for perfecting the submissions, and you don't need to go full aggressive in training. It was a tournament, that's true. Victim blaming with Don Bell and my morning coffee. Yeah, I'm usually not going to blame the victim too much, especially when they seem to know what they're doing. A lot of you guys are black belts out here. You roll with people of different skill levels, and they don't get injured every day. Everyone's favorite Friday morning activity. 3 seconds from when his heel was looped and he started zero defense. He didn't know what was happening. You couldn't tell that dude didn't know what was going on. Jiu-jitsu is about control. Breaking someone's ligaments and limbs on purpose goes against the spirit of the sport. I agree with that. I don't believe he was given enough time to tap. I agree with that. Someone describe the injury so I don't have to see it, please. That's what I should have done. A lot of comments on this one. This looks like an open mat. Was it really a tournament? Jesus, what was the cash prize? $300. That Brazilian guy didn't take home $300. He probably got $25 and broke someone's leg. Good job, dude. So if you're rolling with some checkmat dudes, be careful, bro. I do like checkmat. I like Jansen and some of those guys. Who else do I like? I like Lucas Leitch. I like Roszinski. Yeah, I like that's about it. Maybe. I like Leo Vieta. and his brother. Position before. That was a good comment. I respectfully disagree with your overall assessment on this particular scenario, as on the contrary, I believe that an elite black belt should rarely have to apply a submission quickly. Why? Because an elite jiu-jitsu black belt, look at the camera. Why you look at the camera? I'll keep playing. An elite jiu-jitsu black belt should have nigh on perfect position before submission, with 2 other submission options ready to counter any escape attempts. This is why the phrase position before submission was coined in the sport, to remind people to not rush into a submission without stabilizing. A risk assessment first. I'm not here to discuss personal opinions on the man, but Gordon didn't even have to put it on in the final of ADCC. I've also seen many other talented practitioners at the Mundials, the Worlds, not even finish the armbar because they are not even slightly concerned of losing the submission, and the opponent taps instead. You're giving the black belt too much credit. You're giving that black belt too much credit. When 2 black belts are of equal skill, you cannot give grace in a submission attempt and give them opportunity to escape. That's true, but at the same time, you can control it. You know, watch Mika Galvao anytime he does a submission. Now, he's gonna lock that thing in, but you're gonna have ample time to tap out. Says yes, there are examples of calculated grace extended to opponents in competition. We can name a ton of them. But for every one example of grace, there are 20 full expression of submission mechanics. Protect yourself is rule number 1. And you know that when people say that, you got to realize that this is a sport, and that even when you're competing really hard, there's still some level of sportsmanship. You know, we can't be out there going crazy and wild completely. Now we're going hard, but there's still a level of decor. Is that the name? I don't know if that's the word. You know, there's still some unwritten rules. You know, I can't kick you in your knee, kick you in the head, knee you in the balls. I can't be an asshole. You know, I still got to show you some respect. Even when I get a submission, I'm locking the submission in. I still need to make sure I take care of you. I think of some of those, say like when people go out, like say someone goes out in a choke or something. I mean, it's like, like, all right, bro, he's about to go out. Hey, bro, you still around? Okay, let me let go. You got to give people grace. And I understand these people were saying, you got to win. But listen, it was a little open mat tournament, $1,000. I understand that was some money. But that doesn't mean you got to lose all control of yourself. And we did go on that Brazilian guy's post. He was complaining the whole time. Man, they kicked me out. Man, they won't give me gas money, man. That guy, I don't think that guy was there for good intentions. He shouldn't have been out there anyway. Let me play it one more time. I'm going to chew.
Training, you look out for your training partner. You don't crank submissions in training. It's a mutually beneficial environment where you're looking out for each other's safety. Competition is the opposite. Competition, your whole goal is to hurt this person. That is our martial art. You're doing joint attacks. You're putting them to sleep. It is up to you, and it is up to the opponent to take care of themselves so that jiu-jitsu can be fully expressed, and it is the most honest representation of who is the victor. If you're competing in the black belt advanced division, you need to understand the mechanics of the techniques that will be applied to you so that you know when it is time to tap. If you look at the guy's defense, I'm not like knocking him or anything. I'm just objectively looking at what he was doing. He's just observing him set up the submission. He's not doing any defensive movements. And like subconsciously, I think he's just waiting for it maybe to not work. But this is the most advanced division. That shit's going to work. Understanding the mechanics of the submissions that are going to be used on you in your division is super important, because this man should have tapped way sooner, especially if he's not using defensive measures. I don't know if he should have been in that division personally, if those submissions are allowed and he's not. He doesn't understand them enough to know when to tap. That's my 2 cents on it. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback on this, but I competed for a very long time, and competition, jiu-jitsu competition is no joke. people are trying to hurt you, so you gotta protect yourself. But that's it.
Let these guys work. Give them space.
And even like professional guys, you remember when David Cesari got his leg snapped off, or my boy Adam Bradley got his leg heel hooked. Even professional guys slip up, and those guys are professional, so they were, they got injured and had to just accept it. But just look at this guy, bro. I mean, you look at him. Does he look like he knows what he's doing? What if that was a lady and that Brazilian dude over there take that lady leg off, or it was a young kid? I bet some of these people would defend Pat Shigoli. You guys remember Pat Shigoli, the 10th Planet kid? They would be over here defending Pat Shigoli over here. So I think it's a bad look for the sport. Instead of going after the checkmate guy, they going after the other dude, the regular hobbyist guy. That's who supports most of these gyms out here. When you go to Masters Worlds, it's a dude like that that's paying for the kids to compete, and is competing himself, and is going to CJI. It's not going to be the Brazilian guy with no money. He's not going to CJI supporting the events, or IBJJF probably, unless he's refereeing. He don't have the money. It's regular guys like that. That's who your student base is. And to me, this kind of behavior, it also is kind of, I don't want to say it's elitist, but think about all these tournaments. When you start kicking out all the hobbyists from the tournaments, I don't know. It just, to me, kind of doesn't seem like jiu-jitsu, because I always thought jiu-jitsu was for everybody. You can have people competing, you can roll with everybody, you can train with everybody, you don't get hurt. That's the whole selling point of jiu-jitsu. If you do jiu-jitsu and you're a black belt, you should be able to roll with everybody. Kids, women, elders, masters, whoever. I don't know, man, but like this not a good, not the best image. And when you start saying, oh, well, you guys can't do this tournament, you're not an elite, you're not a competitor, you start excluding people. And jiu-jitsu's all hobbyists. Why are we you ain't gonna have no tournaments to kick out all the hobbyists. Jiu-jitsu is for everyone. Yeah, well, people over here telling you that it's not for everybody. That's what I'm getting. The guy whose leg broke isn't a black belt competitor. He's a brown belt hobbyist going against a black belt. Before the tournament started, they also went over the rules and explicitly said, if you catch a sub, don't crank it. Man, but I want the $1,000, man. If you catch a sub, don't crank it. The black belt got kicked out after this, but not before demanding he got compensated for his gas money. That is not a good look for Team Checkmat. I love Team Checkmat, but they got a lot of dirt on them. When what's my man Jackson Souza? Whenever Jackson Souza got in trouble, they never reprimanded Jackson Souza. They just would move him to a different country. And I think he's back in Brazil, or is he still in Europe? Jackson Souza would get in trouble. They just move him over to the next town like he was a priest or something. So Checkmat, I mean, I'm not saying the other teams are better, I'm sure Alliance got some dirt too. I don't know. Balea might know more dirt than me. Fight Sports, they smuggled that dude out of the country. Remember the guy that got in trouble with the girl? The underage girl? I don't even remember his name. They had that dude training in the back room. So yeah, our sport is wild, bro. So maybe Balea will one day come on the stream or make his own stream or something. He got too much information. Is there proof of this anywhere so we can see? I'm just curious. Well, I mean, that's the rule for that's normal rules for everything. You do the submissions within reason. Said there's a Reddit post where the guy in the vid contributes some context. Don't crank and cash prize don't mix. If you're not getting the tap, you go hard, then harder until eventually you're fully cranking it. That guy probably don't even train. It's that or don't apply the sub. Context. The guy whose leg broke responded and provided more detail on Reddit. I know links don't work in IG comments, but if you screen cap this link, some phones can let you copy. We already went over that earlier. I don't know if we'll get back on that part of Reddit. Agreed. I think there was oversight in the event, planning to not think someone would hurt someone for money. But I also think it's because most people would not do that. most sane people. You guys are assuming a lot of these guys are sane. So you guys go to this tournament. You're gonna see Paul Harris. Palara is over there from Checkmat. Checkmat Palara is over here. I wish somebody had told him not to get in there. He ain't got money, bro. He going back to Brazil if he gets sued. He ain't got no social security number. He about to jump back over the border or go to Canada or somewhere. I mean, he was complaining about his gas money. He didn't care about that guy's leg. Man, I'm so sorry, man. Why the first thing he did was look at that camera? Wasn't that the first thing he did? What? I'm a pause when you look at that camera. He said, "Are you okay?" And then he went to look at his camera. Oh, what did I do? Did you see that? Did you get it on camera? I don't know, bro. Not everybody's supposed to be a black belt, bro. And being a black belt is not just about skill. I know that's what most of you guys think. It's not just about your skill. I would say morals, but that ain't the case either in this sport. Says can't trust strangers like that. Do what though? Apply the sub if you're in an elite division for money. This ain't no elite tournament. This is a little brown and black belt open mat thing. People crazy out here. If you're in elite division for money, you need to be ready to verbally tap the instant someone touches your heel. The guy who applied the heel hook made and posted a whole vlog about how unfair it was that he didn't get to continue in the competition and that his weekend was ruined. His weekend was ruined, guys. Oh, how? Oh, no. Poor dude, his weekend was ruined. I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. Uh-oh. Flow Grappling just put something out. We might jump over to Flow Grappling later. His weekend was ruined. He has since taken it down because 95% of comments were unsupportive. Very Gen Z. My weekend's ruined. You just destroyed this guy's athletic career. I agree on maybe his real career, his financial career. Maybe he was in construction or something, or he had a job where he needed to stand up. For sure, he won't be standing up too much now. I agree on tapping. Always protect yourself. With that said, one competitor lacked awareness and the other restraint. It's a local comp, not IBJJF Worlds, Pans, or Brasileiros. Wasn't ADCC qualifiers or ADCC or CJI or any elite comp. Why doesn't he go to those tournaments and do that? It's regular people testing their skill set, whom have a 9-to-5 and family responsibility. Too many wannabes, and only a small number are the gifted ones. Everyone else is just a participant. What's wild is that he recorded it. So, that's wild. Oh, I know. Even Mr. Dubious here, Mr. Dubious Dom, posted, "Don't blame the grappler, blame the rules." I'm blaming the grappler. Whose action caused the injury? Whose decision-making caused that injury that didn't need to occur? He got lit up. Dude got his tib and fib snapped, and homie's making a vlog about how his weekend was ruined. Yeah, screw that guy, bro. If that guy wants to fight me, I'll go ahead. Now, I'm not going to let him grab my heel. I'll fight that dude. He said he won his $1,000 somehow. Yeah, but say somebody did that to him, hurt his leg. He'd be crying online and stuff. Not to mention, this was an in-house submission, according to people that were there. I know the chap in the video. It was an in-house comp, but he isn't a local he isn't a black belt. The guy that got injured. This is a local LA get-together where people from various gyms come together to add a competition element, but always with the understanding that you're not trying to retire each other. Well, he didn't know. Man, I didn't know, man. Why didn't you tell me, man? It's his fault, man. He should have tapped. Course accidents can always happen, but this wasn't ADCC. He probably should have gone easier than he did. Says it is guy who got his leg broken commented on the video on Reddit. Yes, and the guy was later seen celebrating like he didn't ruin this dude's ability to walk properly forever. I heard there was money involved. If true, that is a huge reason why this happened. With no waivers, so professional. Don't invite outsiders, then have no waiver. Also, don't mind masters with adult. Don't mix masters with adults. For anyone reading this, the Coop is that's the place where the injury occurred. The Coop is a really fantastic gym. It is a high level spot for sure, but it's a safe environment. Not when Checkmate comes through. It's a safe environment to train and get better. Again, this wasn't a regular and was in a in-house comp environment. The gym has waivers. I trained there for several years. It's probably the best gym I've trained at, and I've trained all over California and Austin. I don't disagree wholeheartedly. However, just like there's a difference between training and competition, there's also a difference between competition and Mortal Kombat. You know, these people need to go do some MMA. Go to MMA and do that. Get knocked out. There's a difference between competition. There's a difference between competition and Mortal Kombat in the streets. Maybe I'm soft, but personally, to me, a black belt means restraint, not a checkmate. Allegedly, well, from the video. To me, a black belt means restraint. I wouldn't do it, but hey, different strokes. The furthest skill level, who rips heel hooks in training? I wasn't training. I was in this bracket and pulled out last minute. The organizer repeatedly stressed that the vibe was open mat, not ADCC. Well, that Brazilian dude needed some money, and he didn't care. He over there looking at the camera. However, some people will do anything for money. People, they'll kill you for less money. Some people kill you for $5, $10. $1,000, that's not even enough for my rent. No, thank you. Dude should have tapped. It was locked in, and pressure was immediately applied. Don't expect don't expect others to look out for you, especially if they are strangers. Tap early. You gotta work tomorrow. I think the decent thing to do is release it if you know you've got it. What do you gain by hurting someone that badly in a friendly scrap? It's also important to tap early and often, but things are true. It doesn't have to be either or. Understand what you're saying, but this is obviously at a training session. You do not monetize competition. You don't crank to injure in training. It just baffles me. He's shocked it cracked with how well he doesn't understand heel hooks. I think you can take a poll on here. A poll for what? A poll for I don't want to see anybody. I don't care what anybody thinks right now. I don't care what you guys think. You guys go on Don Bell and tell him what you guys think. I'm just reading. I kind of covered this already a couple days ago. I just wanted to read some of the comments because the Brazilian guy, he took down his post. But if you go back to the video, I did read some of the comments on there. But he took down the post. So he's gone. But he was like making his breakfast, and you see him just like he didn't really care. He didn't care. It baffles me. He's shocked it cracked with how hard he went after it. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Says, a terrible situation, bro. Also, the guy who won was DQ'd for following the rule set and submitting the guy. It's $1,000, no waivers, and they were told submissions only to advance. Not a fan of the whole leg thing. The braking mechanics come on so quickly. The knee and ankle have lower range of motion and little muscle mass around them. The referee's instruction at the beginning of every boxing match should be heated at every BJJ match. Protect yourself at all times, tap early, and fight another day. Well, you guys know that whole slap and bump. When you do the slap and bump, that's like, all right, man, we're competing against each other, but we still got to have some respect. Everybody's kind of saying the same thing. I don't know about y'all, but people treat heel hooks way too unseriously. When a dude has your leg like that, it's the equivalent of having your arm fully extended in an arm bar. It's not quite the same with the torque and torsion stuff. Nah, this is wrong. Just give them pressure and they'll tap eventually. This is just enabling bad behavior from you. I compete at high judo tournaments. We don't slam people on their heads or break anything intentionally. It's just people like you. You know, stuff does happen. But even in wrestling and judo, you know, there's still some level of decor. You know, you can't just be slamming people. Dom says slamming someone on their head is malicious. Is tearing someone's leg off? That's not malicious. I don't think Dom's gonna win this argument. Slamming someone on their head is malicious and also illegal in almost every competition. Applying a perfect submission mechanic is completely different. It's expressing the art. What, bro? Be careful rolling with Dom Bell too, guys. Express it safely. He will tap. You just reducing the amount of people that can participate. Never saw Gordon cranking a heel hook. Even against Nicky Rod at the ADCC finals, competition should have respect to. Yeah, if we don't have respect for each other when we're competing, then it's not a sport any longer. And even MMA still has rules, and there's still, I mean, there's some people that break the rules, like John Jones when he pokes you in your eye. But look at John Jones. Do you guys want to be like John Jones? If you guys do, then that's on you. But you know, I'm good. Ruin someone's health for almost no money. Bro, I've been talking about this for an hour. Jesus Christ. We don't know what the Brazilians are saying. What are my Portuguese people saying? If you only do free sparring for practice, why are you doing this nonsense? I'm trying to see if there's anything I haven't read. 44-year-old brown belt dad hobby boy here. When someone you don't know and therefore shouldn't trust catches you dead to rights in a heel hook, he didn't know. You tap. Just start over and don't keep getting caught. I'm with Dom. This guy may have been irresponsible with the submissions, but always on you to tap in that situation. But, you know, there's always going to be situations where you can't foresee. I brought up the situation with David Sassari where he got his leg broken. He was basically his ankle broken. He was staring at Ryan Aiken. And, you know, sometimes accidents happen, or so you really there really has to be a level of trust between training partners and competitors, you know? There has to be a level of trust and care for their well-being to a certain degree. You know, a saying I always used to hear, and I tell people, don't break your toys. Don't break your toys, because you start breaking people in jiu-jitsu, you're not going to have any more training partners, and then nobody's going to want to compete against you. So I think that Brazilian's going to find that out. Probably going to have a bad rep. He's going to have a bad rep moving forward. I wouldn't want him on my show. You think he should be on UFC BJJ or Who's Number One? I mean, he don't really deserve to be on there, to be honest. But maybe they'll put him on there. Put him. I want to see him against people his skill level. Adult black belts. I want to see him have this same behavior, and I want to see him get jacked up. But that's on me. All right, I'm tired of talking about Dom Bell and his social media stuff. I did 1 hour on that, bro. How? Almost 1 hour. That's crazy. Who else can talk about one social media post for 1 hour? Who else can? Who else got that much time to? Josiah says he wouldn't do that to Grippo. Maybe. Put him against Grippo and Gianni gonna hurt him. Maybe. Grippo too small for that guy, man. I know you love Grippo. He's your superhero, but I think he's too small to beat that guy. You can throw me in there, throw a mush masher at him. We might do some damage. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, guys. We got some Craig Jones. Actually, is that what we want to see? Ooh, let me move that over. Got another knee injury. Let's listen to Craig Jones first.
Helena, Adele, and
Sarah Galval.
I think Sarah, just given her family heritage, the gym she's trained at, she is quite a wild card and she could cause an upset here. So I didn't just want 4 established big name women in the event. I wanted that wild card factor, which sort of the teams have too. It's like we're throwing in some young blood, if you will, and we'll see how she goes in there. Because I love an upset. Obviously, I built my career off an upset. So I love an underdog story going into that women's bracket. We thought the best would be like a 4 women's bracket. We got Anna Vieira, Helena, Adele, and
Sarah Galval.
I think Sarah, just given her family heritage, the gym she's trained at, she is quite a wild card and she could cause an upset here. So I didn't just want 4 established big name women in the event. I wanted that wild card factor, which sort of the teams have too. It's like we're throwing in some young blood, if you will, and we'll see how she goes in there. Because I love an upset. Obviously, I built my career off an upset. So I love an underdog story going into that women's bracket. We thought the best would be like a 4 women's bracket. We got Anna.
You guys know I'm still eating. I think Sarah Galval gonna do well. I'm Team Adele. Flow Grappling said this is the year of Mika. I think this is the year of Adele. I'm excited for the girls. You know, they deserve a chance to make the money. You know, they deserve to make the same amount of money as the guys, really. Well, you know, Sarah did beat Helena in the gi, though. I'm going Adele, although Adele's the smallest girl in there. And she trains at Otto, so Adele and I'm sure Adele, yeah, Daddy Adele. I think Adele and Sarah Galval have trained together. So hopefully they're on separate ends of the bracket. And I'm not sure how they're going to develop. Maybe they'll put Adele with Sarah and Helena with Anna Carolina Vieta. I just don't want to see Helena and Sarah on the same bracket, on the same side of the bracket. We got Mr. Musamechi, Mikey. Poor Mikey, bro. We've been coming after Mikey. No, Diddy. We've been going after Mikey. You know, actually, Craig Jones has posted something too. We shouldn't. I'm trying not to attack Mikey too much, but what was that? Did you guys see that post? Let me see that post. I'm gonna click on it. Yeah, I'm trying not to go after Mikey. You know, I don't want to bully him or seem like I'm bullying him. But at the same time, I do want to call him out. For his bad behavior. I mean, you guys welcome to call me out for my bad behavior too. Can I move this over? Does that help? Nope, that did not help. How do I move this? Can I zoom in? Oh, there we go. Oh. Says Mikey Musamechi responds to Craig Jones's sellout comment from the Mighty Mouse podcast. Mikey, do you guys feel like Mikey's selling out, or is he just looking out for himself? Is that selling out? Let's read some of this. Oh, they got a YouTube too. Can we watch the YouTube real fast? And I'll come back to this. Let's see. You got a timestamp or something, bro? Where that timestamp at, man? Hopefully, Mighty Mouse, please don't hit me with a copyright strike, brother. Let's see. Yo, Mighty Mouse he be selling on here. Here we go. I think this is it. Mighty Mouse, don't hit me. Let's listen for briefly.
Understand. Let's talk about the Mikey and you and the UFC coming into not mixed martial, but into jiu-jitsu. Here's my thing. I feel you are changing the game with jiu-jitsu. You're giving athletes the opportunity to make a lot of money, right? And now I just brought back my next question. Why isn't there no money in jiu-jitsu, right? How come you could...
Let me stop that. You know, I'm going to get hit with the copyright strike. You know, YouTube like to hit me with that copyright strike. This is on Mighty Mouse's YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch it, it's timestamp at 48:35. As much as I want to watch it, I don't know Mighty Mouse. He might hit me with that copyright. Take the stream down. If you guys been around, you see my screen go black a couple times, so I got to be careful. It says, for those who missed it, Craig Jones did an interview on Mighty Mouse podcast and called Mikey a sellout. Reasons being that Mikey keeps saying he wants to grow the sport. Hopefully you guys can see that. He wants to grow the sport, and he's doing that by joining the UFC. But Craig believes UFC BJJ hurts BJJ athletes. Craig believes UFC BJJ hurts BJJ athletes more than it will help, and that Mikey is benefiting off being a big fish in a small pond. I mean, honestly, since Mikey's been going to one championship and UFC BJJ, he really hasn't been fighting the same caliber of people that we want to see him fight. And at the same time, he's making more and more money, so it seems to go hand in hand with him. Also goes on to call Mikey out on promoting Derek Moneyberg. Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole Moneyberg stuff. I don't know. There's a lot to listen to for yourself. This Mikey guy is getting more unlikable by the second. Oh wow, Mikey, you losing the populace, Mikey. He used to be that quirky kid that's probably on the spectrum that only eats pasta and pizza. He still is. Now he seems more like a tool. He lived long enough to become the bad guy. Isn't that a saying? Anyone who spends excessive amount of time trying to access other people's feet is not normal. Some of the Reddit people feel attacked. Literally a tool for one to promote themselves in grappling. He stopped benefiting one when he pulled out of a fight and didn't have star power and got canned. Now he's a tool for the UFC to use to promote their product. Aren't all contractors and employees just tools? Oh, Jesus. What did Mikey do to say he had moral superiority? For example, his views on steroid use. We gotta post on Mikey about that too. And athletes that talk shit to promote. Everybody's just trying to succeed and get paid however they can. Calling out literally cheating is not being morally superior. Yeah, when you're cheating too. If you're cheating and you're calling out other cheaters. Am I the only person who thinks Mikey has always been selling a fake personality? A lot of your favorite jiu-jitsu people are. And taking vitamins this whole time. Everything about him screams that he is a fake person. That's why my favorite Musamechi is Tammy Musamechi. She quiet. You don't hear nothing about her. She does her lawyer job. I don't think he's fake. It's just that his hard work is the leverage he has to go. Well, I don't know what that means. Whichever way he wants to go. I think when I saw him with Zuckerberg, I stopped supporting him. He would complain about eating disorders, blah, 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 and then hang out with the dude that is part of a system responsible for a lot of mental health issues and societal decay. Well, that's jiu-jitsu right now. Jiu-jitsu and MMA right now is not the healthiest. I'm saying like the healthiest environments with some of these people. Would be honestly weird if he wasn't on some kind of PED. Well, he's on Adderall, which is a PED. Or Vyvanse. Isn't that you guys didn't know that's a performance enhancer? That Adderall, the ADHD medication? You're telling me that enhanced focus is not a performance enhancer? I'm waiting for somebody to disagree with me. It's technically not against the rules though, so it's not literally cheating. Mikey's perspective on vitamins use is also the exception among top level professional players, so it's actually is grandstanding. A lot of people have been calling Mikey out lately. Says where the sport came from, it is against the rules. IBJJF, It only didn't become against the rules when Saudi money was introduced and they all started to dance for $1. Of course, CGI is going to follow suit since everyone is already sauced up. Same with UFC BJJ since it's just getting a following. The more cheating that goes on, the more it delegitimizes the sport. Most of the top BJJ athletes and athletes in general have always been taking vitamins. It's just now athletes are more honest about it. The name of the game now is being popular. It's authenticity. So most appreciate athletes that are using but honest over those that grandstand and pretend it's realistic to have a totally clean sport. Honestly, I would be surprised if guys weren't cheating. I mean, just look at the history of the sports in general. So many people have been caught using it. It's ridiculous. As far as I know, it's always been Brazilians. If you go watch, look at USADA, whoever they caught in jiu-jitsu, it's always been a Brazilian person. Mushmaster says, I don't think what Mikey is doing is selling out. I'm not sure what Mikey, I don't know if he's selling out. Well, no one had a problem with when CGI ran at the same time as ADCC. This is all business. Yeah, I don't know if Mikey's selling out. He's definitely ducking people, though. He's been ducking people, and people are accusing him of being fake. I don't really know Mikey like that, so I can't say. Everyone's looking out for their own self-interest. I think we talked about this yesterday. That's why the UFC people can't unionize, and it's possible for everybody to eat well, but because everybody has that outlook of looking out for themselves, that's why the sports like MMA and jiu-jitsu are going to be controlled by people like Dana White. If people could work together, it would be way better for most people. If we could work together and make changes to the IBJJF, it would be better for all of us. I just don't see that happening because there's always going to be an athlete that's going to take lower or less. If that Brazilian dude destroyed some guy's leg for $1,000, I don't really have hope. I don't really have hope for the jiu-jitsu community too much. Most people are going to look out for themselves, and they'll screw the whole sport over, making sure they good. And there won't be no future for jiu-jitsu with some of their decisions. Complaining about grappler pay, then getting mad that Mikey may be getting the bag is silly. I'm not upset at Mikey. I am upset at Mikey because I don't think he's telling the truth a lot of times. He said that he was fighting the best competition or couldn't find the best competition, knowing full well he's signing these exclusive contracts that limit his ability to, or his opponent's abilities to have matches with him. And some other stuff too. I don't know. I'm not even talking about the Moneyberg stuff. I mean, I'm happy Mikey's making money. I'm happy he's making money, and a couple of his friends are going to make money. I don't know if he's really helping the sport. He's been claiming that, but I can't really say he's helped the sport really. He has been a figurehead to one championship and UFC BJJ. But I just don't believe they're the best decision for the sport. Now maybe I'm wrong. That's true. Maybe I am wrong. He is getting the bag. He's making more. He's making more money than me. That's for sure. I think there are different. There's more than one way to make money. If you guys are working regular jobs, I respect that too. And I don't want to hear these guys complaining when they get screwed over by Chaudhary at one championship, or they get screwed over by Dana White in the UFC. I don't want to hear these guys complain. Where was I at? So isn't Mikey at least being a hypocrite for signing on with the very organization that he knows is allowing cheating? There's nothing we can do about that. People are going to cheat. He's calling out roids is the one thing I really respect about him. Not if he's on some stuff too, but we don't know. Let me read some more of these comments. He's on the Moneyberg train, complete sellout. You pay me enough, I'll sell out. Sorry. For $500,000, I would give anyone their black belt. And most of us, honestly, can't even blame anyone for this. The older I get, the more I realize the importance of financial security. Just don't be a jackass about it. This is the right answer. He's always been a tool. Not sure why people are all of a sudden surprised. I'm not saying Mikey's a bad guy. Now, has he been lying or being fake? Maybe. I mean, Craig isn't wrong, and Mikey's response doesn't exactly give proof he's not a sellout. I would say I agree more and more with Mikey showing less integrity and looking out to make a buck. That's true. Is that what you guys want? You want Mikey to tell you that he's doesn't have integrity and just wants to make money? I mean, if he just said he was about money, I think we would respect that. Says the Moneyberg thing is unacceptable and hurt Mikey's reputation big time and in a permanent way. Not only that, but I think the ducking competition. I think that's also been a bad look on Mikey. The entire thing shows that there is a huge difference between having a black belt and being a black belt. That's true. Check Matt dude over there. He has a black belt, but is he really a black belt? People can read into this however they want. Are you implying black belts should have multifaceted integrity? You bad man. I mean, at this point, we have no expectations on black belts. They ain't got no morals, no character, no integrity. What's the point of being a black belt then? We shouldn't even have belts, to be honest. Let's get rid of the belt system. I agree. I respect Mikey's game, but if you're going to sell out, just admit it. I'd respect him more if he said something like he's put in his time and wants to make money. At least be honest with your selloutedness. He was taking that moral high ground about not using any performance enhancers. A couple athletes do that, which I support that. I support having a clean sport. Mikey Mucha money. Musumeci should have stayed at 1. Hearing something about him once every 6 months is more than enough. Craig is just frustrated because he tried to put on a great event, and what happened? Only 2 teams stuck to the concept. Daisy Fresh and 10th Planet. What's up, Edwin? Yeah, get rid of the belt system. Yeah, we don't need belts. Get rid of the belts. Craig is frustrated because only 2 teams stuck to the concepts, Daisy Fresh and 10th Planet. For you guys that don't know, they're the 2 teams that fielded their own athletes from their own team. Everybody else needed wild cards to have a fair shot. All the others did not respect the idea and went from 1 or 2 wild cards to have essentially a team where nobody trained together ever. He got reminded that people in BJJ don't actually play the game and just want a quick buck because they are egotistical maniacs happy to sell themselves to anyone who offers them $1. That is true. We're starting to see that now. Very rarely do you see some integrity, people with some moral fiber. I mean, maybe that's just the life we live in, the world we live in. You know, we have these ideals, and most people can't live up to these ideals. Not a surprise. People are going to. Katarov already showed that. What is that? Is that the fighter? On the other hand, you have guys like Mikey making a fortune selling instructionals, doing 1 or 2 matches against terrible guys a year, and being promoted as the face of the UFC grappling promotion. A promotion we all know deep inside that will win the sport in the not so long term. The same Mikey who sold his self to Zuckerberg. What a surprise. I don't know. Mushmaster's defending Mikey. I actually do like Mikey as an athlete. As a person, I don't really know him, so I can't really judge him. He's made a lot of decisions I don't understand. He's changed teams like a million times, changed organizations a million times. I don't want to get into Mikey's head. I don't want to try to explain him. I don't want to defend him. I'm just reacting to whatever he's done, his actions, and whatever he said. Probably one of the more brutal and honest opinions in the sport. Sadly, crabs in a bucket. maybe Mikey does think he's helping the sport. And I mean, he's making some money. I can't hate him for making the money. But he's partnered up with some sketchy people. Well, everybody in jiu-jitsu sketchy. All these organizers are sketchy. It can really make you jaded. If you follow some of these guys too closely, you get really jaded. You're only defending UFC BJJ. And I understand people like the Tackets. Well, I can't defend that Mikey match for sure. I can't defend Mikey fighting a guy with no experience in no-gi, basically. But people, UFC is I don't want to say they're a good organization, but Moneybird BS is unforgivable. Well, he'd be the main he might be the main sponsor behind the UFC BJJ. Actually, if he was, you would hear about it. There's just no way to do this sport at a high level and come off clean. I'm sure a lot of these guys have done stuff they're not proud of. Mikey, for sure, he vouched for Moneyberg. I really don't like Dana White, but the UFC is a mainstay in this community, and they're probably going to be around for a long time. Now, are the fights good? Some of them. Is Claudia good? Probably not. I don't like Claudia. Is Dana White good? I don't think so. I want to see these people succeed. I want people to have money and live a good life. And be able to do this full time and have some savings. I'm happy for that. I tend to think more about the community as a whole. While I see some athletes say they are about that, but then they just focus on themselves. But that's life too. I can't change that. We can hope though, right? We can hope. We got to have some hope in this sport. We can't all be negative and well, this is the only thing we could do. We got to settle for this. Well, Dana White said I can only make $500. We got to settle for this. I'm gonna always be optimistic for sure. I don't believe he's frustrated about that. If he's frustrated, it's ticket sales. They've gone badly. My suspicion is that the current immigration policy is one thing that drives people away from the event, and YouTube is safer. Allowing Victor Hugo and Nicky Rod to be on the same team seems like Craig doing his guys a favor. The wild card is Craig's idea to boost draw power and create more upsets and showcase matches. If anything, he's upset that teams like Daisy Fresh aren't using them and are instead using borderline unknowns in some weight classes. The second wild card is also Craig's idea because B Team guys made the mistake of letting Craig know that they were cutting him out before the tournament was complete. Josiah, what's up, bro? That's the type of response you have when you concede to an argument. At least he's owning it. I guess you can't blame the guy for doing a money grab. The only person who is really losing here is the guy to whom he sold a black belt. Yeah, that was a terrible situation. Well, nobody's defending the Moneyberg thing. Because he'll forever be known primarily as a BJJ joke. His podcast thing or whatever he does will always be secondary compared to his notoriety as a martial arts fraud. Screw that guy. He thought a black belt and endorsements from people whose skill we respect would give him credibility to start grifting us. He thought we were marks, and the fact that BJJ is a very put up or shut up art was lost on him proves he is BS. I gotta say that Mikey ducked ADCC. Don't give me that BS that he was too small. Baby Shark is the same size as him. He ducked every rule set that favors wrestling. Yeah, Mikey was ducking. He been switching teams left and right. He ain't got no loyalty. I'm not saying Mikey's a bad guy. Nobody's perfect for sure, but Mikey's in the limelight. So all your moves, you sneeze the wrong way, people post it on Reddit, and that comes with the fame. Who would have thought the dude that hops on one leg then sits down is terrible at stand up? Mikey makes more money competing elsewhere. It's weird how this board is all about athlete pay, but then when athletes go to the highest bidder over doing an entire tournament for $50K, everyone says they are ducking. That's true. He is ducking, but he's also making more money. So is Mikey wrong for that? I can't say. Mikey made $1 million in 1 year. Did he make $1 million? Did Mikey make $1 million? Why would he go fight Baby Shark and Pato back to back for 10K show money? Why wouldn't he go fight those guys? If you're making $1 million a year, why wouldn't you go test yourself against these people? And you're the best guy in the world. He could have made another $1 million fighting Baby Shark or Pato. For sure, Mikey would make more money fighting those guys, and maybe a CJI or some type of tournament like that. It would be nice to prove he's the best. I mean, he's not obligated to prove anything to us. That's true. I don't know what my argument is. Is Mikey really trying to grow the sport? Probably not. He is growing his wallet though, his bank account, which I respect that too. He's making some real money. Now what he had to do to make that money, I don't know. He probably had to do a lot of stuff you're not proud of. But I respect that he's got that money, and I don't know. I think we were asking too much for Mikey. Maybe I'm asking too much. I'm expecting too much from Mikey. He's just a man. He eats pizza. He eats pizza and pasta. He loves jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Maybe we're too hard on him. Should athletes be demanding their bag, or should they be competing for vibes? If you guys want them getting paid, this is what that looks like. It means not showing up to the mega tournaments filled with the entire top 8 of your weight class for 10K. I guarantee he wasn't making more than 10K that weekend. Well, ADCC. He would rather beat some scrub at 1FC. What the heck just happened? He would rather beat some scrub at 1FC. What the heck just happened? I don't know what happened. He'd rather beat some scrub at 1FC. The best should want to prove to be the best. If you're willing to do something for low pay, why would anyone offer you more? At the moment, Mikey could definitely demand more than 50K to go against Baby Shark, and there would be an organization willing to pay it. No one would pay him more than 50K to go against Baby Shark if he just showed up to ADCC last year and did it for the 10K show money. Gordon did ADCC every time and gets paid more than Mikey, and Gordon is a big outlier. And as Craig has pointed out, Gordon isn't competing for 10 to 50K. Gordon gets his own bespoke contract for considerably more, which is why he let Mo literally live in-house and can't say that part. I don't know if you guys can even see that part. Each athlete is in a different situation, and the best plan of action for one isn't necessarily the best for others. Yeah, I mean, I see what Mushmaster's saying. Craig makes a lot of money too. Gordon makes a lot of money, and Mikey makes a lot of money. But out of those 3 athletes, really, who's creating a window for other athletes to come up? Gordon basically looks out for himself and maybe his Kingsway people. Mikey might look out for the Cobrinha boys for a little bit, but then he's gonna trade teams next month. He was he been at Daisy Fresh, Kyle Teja, AOJ, Atos. Where else he been? He been everywhere. Mikey ain't gonna stick with nobody. And out of all those guys, I think Craig has been, I don't want to say the most giving, but he's been the most to give back to the athletes. So, and nobody's obligated. That's true. They're not obligated to give back. I think they should give back, but they're not obligated to give back. They're not obligated to help the sport grow. All they're obligated to do is take care of themselves, I don't know. That doesn't really seem like martial arts to me. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if Mikey has sold out. Did Mikey sell out? I think that's the big question. What do you guys think? Let me do a poll. Was it Edwin that asked to do a poll or something? Somebody asked about a poll. I'm gonna set up a poll. You guys click and say whatever you want to say. Mikey, if you're watching the stream, you can vote too. I mean, I don't really care either way. What's this got to do with me? I don't care. Life is about choices. That's true. BJ is not lucrative. Probably for about 3 or 4 people. Danaher, Mikey, and Gordon has been pretty lucrative, but that's 3 people out of a million people, or however many people are doing jiu-jitsu. I would say the same thing of MMA. Honestly, maybe we don't deserve to have professional jiu-jitsu or professional MMA or anything. It's just like the numbers really don't support it, right? I mean, honestly, like, the numbers don't support it. Like, it's never going to be like, football or basketball or soccer. As someone who has been in those meetings and dealt with negotiations, I'm here to tell you it's not paying like that. That's what I'm saying. Well, you're saying, some of these guys think Mikey's got $1 million. He might. I mean, someone like Gordon might have a lot of money. But even he, like, the money he's making is nothing compared to, like, other sports. So I just don't think we're not like judo either. Maybe we could be like judo. Everyone is out for themselves. Even your own coach will dog you out. Some of these coaches will dog you out. I don't think it's the smartest plan to focus on being they're just yapping on. Yeah, that's true. I just don't think people should go the professional route. I'm watching PGF highlights, and these guys out here making $1,000, getting their leg destroyed. The dude at the local open mat getting his leg destroyed for what? So I think, I don't know. I'm not sure what will happen in the future, but maybe it should stay a hobby. Maybe MMA should stay a hobby. Maybe jiu-jitsu should stay a hobby. Because it doesn't seem like the doesn't seem like the finances are really working out to that point. The dudes aren't retiring off of BJJ earnings. That's true. I mean, look at how these guys got to sell out. Even Gordon has a school. He opened up a school, teaching beginners, teaching the white belts in the gi. So I think maybe that's what we should be focusing on. Just keep it a hobby. Hobby, you can make a little bit of money teaching, but maybe professional jiu-jitsu just won't be a thing. Because it doesn't seem like it's really working out. That sounds pretty pessimistic. It's popular, but it's just not paying. Now, if we could get some sponsors, that might be different. If we could get some sponsors, but even sports like pickleball, pickleball is like one of the fastest growing sports. It's still getting investments from and sponsors from tennis. Like, a lot of the tennis players put their money into pickleball. That's okay. We're not entitled to having our passion be our job. That's true. And some of us don't want our passion to be our job. You be tired and burned out of jiu-jitsu at the end of the day sometimes. So maybe that should be the but I see people like AOJ, they're pushing jiu-jitsu to their young athletes, and I'm wondering, like, what's the move for them in the future? Because some of the athletes, like Jessica Khan, she stopped competing completely and she just teaches at their gym or something. But what's in it for her? Like, a lot of those kids forego schooling and other opportunities to be good at jiu-jitsu. And maybe that's just it. I'm pushing kids to do wrestling. I'm like, at least you can get a scholarship and stuff in wrestling. Jiu-jitsu, you just get a torn ACL. Even with sponsors, BJJ still won't be paid much. Well, I mean, judo's got sponsors, right? Or are you saying the government sponsors? I'm saying France, not here in America. I mean, even if you do make a lot of money, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to keep that money. Look at some of these professional athletes. You know, they make $50 million and be broke. How are you broke after you made $50 million? Judo don't pay much. We're talking about France, bro. France. Teddy Reiner, bro. He's basically, you know, I guess he's an outlier too. Says it's basically about getting the bag and also letting the others get it as well. UFC BJJ has a couple of big red flags. I see that. Mikey isn't stopping anyone from getting the same bag they have always got. Baby Shark can keep showing up to ADCC every 2 years for $50K grand prize if he's happy to do so. It's not even $50K. Mushmaster says, I tell kids to get a job and degree and do this for the love of the game. That might be what we needed to say. We just need to tell kids that. You know, we tried to make this sport professional. At least we tried. You know, we put our time in and tried to go to these big events. Now some of these tournaments, you know, IBJF makes a lot of money, and they're gonna stick around because they don't give the money to the athletes. UFC makes a lot of money. They're going to stick around because they don't give money to the athletes. So, it's just wild to me that these organizations will make money off of jiu-jitsu, but you know, they're like, oh, it's not sustainable to give the athletes any money. Same thing with UFC. They say the same thing. We got $7 billion, but we can't afford to give you guys any money. So I'm not sure. I mean, they're still going to do well. They're still going to have hobbyists out there. But maybe there won't be a professional league. Maybe there will be. I don't know. I'm trying not to be too pessimistic. Says, agreed. I have no issue with him doing this stuff for money. The Moneyberg thing, though, I have no idea why he would participate in that, even if it was money. He was in 2022, but got appendicitis. Was that Mikey that got appendicitis? Or was that was Shane Jamil Hill that got appendicitis, not Mikey. He got sick a month before the event, and also, where was he in 2024? He definitely ducked Baby Shark, and everyone else in the division are definitely bigger than him. Well, Mikey cuts a lot of weight. Most of them are walking around at 175. Baby Shark did duck him in one, though. Mushmaster says, Alec, our generation tried and paved the way. We're like Hoopers pre-merger. Yeah, we tried, bro. We tried. We over here destroyed our bodies and our careers and our livelihood. Some people going to make a living. Now, are they going to be well off? No, they're gonna be solidly middle class. They're going to be able to pay their bills and, you know, do a little bit of work. But I just don't see jiu-jitsu becoming a, you know, it might become like, you know, like low-level soccer or something. It might become like low-level soccer or something. Well, Mushmaster said, keep your day job, people. Keep your day job. Honestly, I would like to see more of the grapplers and combat sports athletes using more of the social media stuff, but I understand that's not for everybody. We got great stories. We got some crazy stories. Not sure how we survived. Everyone says the sports athletes don't know how to manage money. Unfortunately, that's why they go broke. But a few are wise. Well, listen to the old dudes. That's usually what keeps the young guys out of trouble. Listening to the old dudes. You know, I want the sport to continue growing. Again, only a small percentage will do well financially. Even out of the elite people, I can't even see my hands. Out of all the elite people I know, usually like a small percentage of people are doing really well. And there's a small percentage of schools that are killing it. Most schools are struggling. They can only keep the same number of people, keep the lights on. I do see potential, though. I do see potential. You know, maybe we're just too early. Mushmaster, we're just too early, bro. That's all. Maybe 10, 20, 30 years. Like, man, they're doing really well now. Where the heck was I? Props to Craig for being so real, so consistently. Coming up on UFC Fight Pass, Mikey versus a guy who won the 2022 Masters for one no-gi. Ever since he endorsed money bags, I've lost respect for him. I mean, Craig is, of course, the UFC has shown over their entire existence that unless you are one of the people at the very top, even then, even the people at the very top not making that much money. Kayla Harrison not making that much money. Alex Pereira not making that much money. Israel Adesanya didn't make that much money. Who else over there? GSP didn't make that much. Like they doing okay for themselves, but they still got a budget. And I mean, GSP living good though. He has some good sponsorships. John Jones should have made more money, but he messed himself up. That's his fault. John Jones could have done a lot more for the sport than he did. If John Jones was a good guy, he would have made hundreds of millions of dollars. And had good sponsorships and grew the sport. Says the UFC has shown over their entire existence that unless you are one of the people at the very top, you will be extremely lucky if you get the same yearly earnings as a moderately successful dentist. A large chunk of the roster is still working a day job to make ends meet. I was over there attacking the UFC. We had some people on here defending the UFC, but my main argument is that someone like Dana White has $500 million net worth, and all them fighters. All the UFC fighters from the start to the finish ain't made. They together they don't have $500 million, even with Conor McGregor. If that ain't messed up, I don't know what is. I don't blame him for trying to get his bag, but he should drop the promoting BJJ because it's definitely not. Yeah, I don't know if Mikey's promoting BJJ. Is he? I mean, he is promoting. I don't know how he's. I think Mikey's hurting BJJ, to be honest. You turn on UFC BJJ and Mikey's hopping on one leg. Nobody wants to watch that. That's not Mikey. He says, I haven't watched the Mighty Mouse interview yet, but I will get into it. They say any publicity is good publicity. Even the bad stuff. I don't have any skin in the game as I don't compete, and I'll never be a pro athlete looking to make money that way. Ultimately, I don't care about the Moneyberg thing either. I don't care that he's a real black belt. I've met plenty of not great black belts. Even those not great black belts are better than Moneyberg. It just doesn't really matter to you. I just want people to enjoy BJJ, more people. You don't realize that's putting more people off. Honestly, it's okay for him to be a sellout, but just own being a sellout. Don't make stuff up to try pretending to not be seen as one. If you're chasing the bag and lose your integrity, just own it. Mikey's an absolute sellout. Mikey's not that pleasant a person and talks a lot of stuff. Wasn't the whole point of CGI that it paid the athletes more? Why would it be a surprise that Musumeci is doing what pays him more? What is the meaning of calling someone a sellout when your own event relies on having more prize money than other events in order to buy athlete participation? I mean, you can make the argument CGI 1 paid all the athletes at their event more, but that's still meaningless as it's only like 16 or so people in total. It's not like they're making some sustainable IBJF type tour, which gives hundreds or even dozens of athletes potential careers. I mean, forever, teaching has always been the career move in jiu-jitsu. Maybe it still is. It's no surprise, but Mikey pretends he's doing it for the growth of BJJ and other noble reasons, Not that he just wants more money. Like Craig said, you want to sell out? Great. Just own it. Don't hide behind made-up reasons. There's this weird idea that multiple things can't be true at the same time. Mikey came out and said that he teamed up with the UFC for money. It's also possible that the UFC can grow BJJ viewership versus the basically non-existent marketplace that currently exists. Mikey isn't fighting the best because fighting the best doesn't pay the bills. Craig also took money fights versus fighting the best. But Craig also did ADCC though. That is true. Craig did not duck. Both say they want to grow the sport. Any reason they both can't be sincere in their intent? I mean, your actions. Craig blaming UFC BJJ for why his event is losing $800K and likely won't ever happen again is hilarious. Well, the UFC, I'm not sure. The UFC's not making any money, is there? UFC BJJ, I don't think is making money. They might cut the UFC BJJ. Dana White going to see that UFC BJJ bled out $800K and he's going to cut it. And then Mikey will be at CJI. You guys know I'm eating. Sorry, guys. I'm only human. At least you know I'm not AI. AI don't have to eat. I be smacking. You know I'm here. Craig blaming UFC BJJ for why his event lost $800K. Likely won't ever happen again. Is hilarious. He didn't blame UFC BJJ. As it stands, Craig and people who do his event and associate with him are the only ones growing BJJ as a sport in a positive way, according to Craig Jones. I mean, the other events are growing the sport too, but I think CGI is probably the biggest one. I mean, ADCC too, I believe. IBJF, I mean, they're growing the sport, but just through their hobbyists, not like just spectators. The guy who signed with an organization that can actually accomplish what Craig is failing at is the bad guy to Reddit. LOL. Go back to buying tickets to an event you can't attend so the millionaire jet setting Coke, I can't say that part, doesn't take a loss. Just said this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think Craig is going too far here. As someone who enjoys watching both of these guys compete, Mikey would have literally done CGI last year if he could have and was literally officially announced as a participant, but the organizers, Craig, failed to find a suitable opponent. Mikey's like, I can't fight that guy, can't fight that dude, don't want to fight that guy. So if Mikey had done Craig competition, he wouldn't be a sellout. But now because he tried to get himself consistent matches and won, he didn't. And now UFC, he did. Who's he fighting in UFC? Who did he fight in one championship? The only person he fought that was decent was Gabriel Souza. He ain't fought nobody in UFC BJJ that we know of yet. Says no, that makes him someone who wants to compete often and wants to be fairly compensated for it. Why would he trust in CGI to get him a consistent source of revenue if they didn't get him a match last year? And if it may or may not exist next year, from his perspective, he's picking the smart, stable option. People saying that UFC BJJ, I could see Dana White cutting well, Dana White, he won't cut slap fight, but I can see him cutting the BJJ portion. Overall, I love Craig and how he's trying to expand the sport, but he has a pattern of attacking people who don't align with everything he wants. Vion Davies, who he heavily promoted for CGI 1, but now attacks for joining UFC. Is Vion supposed to just trust that there will be a yearly CGI competition from someone who admits he's leaving after this year and that she'll make enough from winning that and give up on her more stable UFC income for that? Well, even Vion teaches. She teaches full time. That's her job. That UFC money, that's her play money, her tattoo money. DeAndre and Gavin Corbry quit their 9-to-5 jobs for this. They messed up. At least they got a degree. They got their engineers, so they can get another job. But these other dudes, people like Hillbilly Hammer, some of these other guys, they ain't got what kind of job they gonna do? They might have to do a construction job or something. What can those dudes do? The Corby bros need to go back to their 9 to 5, bro. He's not attacking them for not doing what he wants, but for joining UFC specifically. I understand he feuds against UFC is not only against Monopoly, but against one of its main tools, which are exclusivity contracts for independent contractors, which is kind of contradictory. Yeah, my fear is that if you guys keep supporting the UFC, they'll put the other organizations out of business. You know, they'll put PGF. PGF about to be under UFC. They'll take over PGF, Zapatero, who's number one. UFC will eat up everything, just like they did in MMA. And do you guys want Dana White and Claudia controlling jiu-jitsu? I think not. Edwin says, I like PGF, not sure how far it will go, but seeing that in CGI for free is dope. PGF about you didn't see the Moneybird picture with they call him Voltron. What's that? Zoltan? Voltron? Whatever his name is. They about to sell out too. They about to have that exit to UFC. Says other leagues and events, including ADCC as in the tournament and one championship, which is known for shady practices, don't require their athletes to not compete in other tournaments. So joining UFC isn't just not doing what he wants, but it's giving validity to this type of abusive contracts. Yeah, the contract's super abusive. Have you seen some of those UFC contracts? Yeah, I would never sign that stuff. But again, a lot of these jiu-jitsu guys can't read or write, so they so joining the UFC isn't just doing what he wants, but giving validity to this type of abusive contracts, which limits the fighters' freedom to fight whenever they can and for whomever they want as independent contractors, and it also limits the growth of newer and diverse leagues where more guys can fight. But Leia, he says, Money Turd versus Gabby Garcia announced a special super fight for CGI 3. Yo, you guys heard it from Balea, man. That sounds real. Moneybird gonna have her in the basement, smelling his socks. Don't do it, Gabby. Don't do it. You know, she might do it, though. Says, you are right. Craig is totally off base here. The whole message of CGI was that athletes go get your bag. What's funny is that Gordon criticized all the CGI 1 athletes for being sellouts. After all, most of them had promised to do ADCC and then pulled out last minute to do something else because more money dangled in front of them. It wasn't just more money. It was the cash prize of winning ADCC just to show up. Balea says Mika has a contract with Flow and he can do IBJF, ADCC, who's number 1, and BJJ Stars, and soon Polaris. Can he do UFC BJJ? Or you can't do that. It's on a different show. Well, Polaris is on it's on Fight Pass, right? All right, Mikey. So guys, Mikey could have had the same contract. Mikey been lying this whole time. Mikey could have done ADCC, IBJJF, who's number 1, BJJ Stars, Polaris, UFC, or maybe not UFC. He could have done all this stuff. Mikey been lying this whole time. Mikey been lying. Mikey says other athletes have deals with Flow and they can compete everywhere. Why would anyone want to limit their exposure and potential brand growth? Mikey been lying. Balea over here dropping bombs over here, Balea. Mikey, Mikey, what you got to say, Mikey? Mikey been lying this whole time. He been ducking, bro. We know he been ducking. He could have done every tournament. Mikey been ducking, bro. What, Mikey, just say you been ducking, Mikey. Tell people you don't want to fight Pato or Baby Shark. You running from them. Just tell people that. Just tell people that. Mikey been lying this whole time, bro. And he said he couldn't find no opponent for UFC BJJ. What? Balea, why you had to fight? Balea, why Mikey had to fight a dude with no nogi experience? Why did Mikey agree to that match? Or was that Claudia? Says, no, I did not see that. Man, that sucks. But if B-Mac got good money for him. Mikey, bro. Okay, Mikey is a sellout then. He a liar and a sellout. Mushmaster, what you gotta say about that, Mushmaster? Mikey been complaining this whole time. He could have. Mikey. Mikey. Mikey, come on the stream and defend yourself, Mikey. I'm guessing Mikey wanted Baby Shark after Baby Shark signed with. He's like, I'm ready to fight you, Baby Shark. Oh, you over at 1? I can't fight you now. And Baby Shark probably tried to get over at 1 so he could fight Mikey. And then Mikey leaves. And then Baby Shark goes to UFC BJJ, and then Mikey leaves to something else. Mikey, stop ducking Baby Shark and Pato and some of these other people. Mikey, go fight some real people, bro. Jason Whitfield says, if the UFC really wanted to, they could end all of these other promotions because they have ended some of these promotions, WEC and some of these other shows that I used to love. They destroyed them shows. He says they can end all those other promotions because they have so much money. They could just buy all the jiu-jitsu athletes. I hope Dana doesn't decide to use the infinite gauntlet. He could Dana White could end jiu-jitsu like that. Because all these guys would sell their soul for a little bit of money. Belay says, since Baby Shark signed with what? Claudia got Harrison. That was terrible, bro. Who? I don't like her, man. I don't like her. She should not be in charge. Why is she in charge? They should have put Mackenzie Dern in charge. Mackenzie Dern would have done a good job. Much Master said, I stand corrected. Mikey could have made all the money in the world. Mikey had all the opportunities. Oh, Jesus. My man is growing the sport by not fighting the best fighters. Difference is UFC makes money. UFC BJJ does not. It's a marketing expense. But man, they might cut that. They might cut that next year. Says, bro, Brazilians didn't even know who Harrison is. I mean, if the Brazilians didn't know who Harrison was, we Americans for sure as heck didn't know. Now, if they had put Pato or Baby Shark on that UFC BJJ, we all would be supporting BJJ, UFC BJJ. Or if they put an MMA fighter, I'm not sure who he could fight. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not defending Mikey. Is Mikey getting the bag? Yes, but he probably could. He's leaving money on the table. Mikey is helping the sport by leaving money on the table for us. I'm not. What's the argument? Is he selling out? I think Mikey just. I don't know. I'm not saying he's had a fake persona, but seems like it. Their goal is to use BJJ to help develop new stats or new stars. They wanted new star. Oh. They wanted Mika so bad, but he with flow. I think that's the best move. Be with flow grappling. Do whatever you want. If Mika had gone to UFC BJJ, I think that would have been bad. So shout out to Melky Galval. He was smart. He's like, well, I want my kid to still be able to do some tournaments. Imagine if Mika signed with UFC BJJ. You wouldn't see Mika no more. He'd be over there with Mikey, not fighting nobody, he'd be fighting up people from Dagestan and people from Sambo. He wouldn't be fighting no jiu-jitsu fighters. They probably would be paying him a little bit of money, but I mean, you still gotta fight though, man. You still gotta, when you're in your prime, Mikey's one of the best grapplers out there. That's awesome, man. Oh, you did the deal? Man, Mikey could have hooked up with Balea and been set, bro. I mean, he wouldn't be able to duck anybody anymore. I mean, Mikey doesn't owe us. He doesn't owe us any explanation. He can do whatever he wants. I just don't want to hear him talk no more about people ducking him and trying to grow the sport. How is he growing the sport when he's not even doing all the tournaments? Now, if Mikey was doing all these tournaments like Mika does, BJJ Stars and ADCC and Who's Number One and all this stuff, I would say he was growing the sport. But Mikey going over to one, going to UFC BJJ, I don't think he's really doing what he says. Jason says, we asked why is Claudia in charge of UFC Jiu-Jitsu. It's the same reason Laura Sanko is doing live commentary at UFC events. There's no secret here. I mean, Daddy Dana likes to have those girls close by. Why is Nina Marie more famous than the fighters? UFC pays good. Difference is, to quote Chael Sonnen, who's number one is where the best fight the best. What does grow the sport even mean? I don't know. I mean, that's something Mikey can just say and not have no tangible results. They can point to views like, okay, well, CGI got 1 million views. They can say UFC BJJ got 1 million views. But I mean, that's just the same UFC audience as far as I know. I think if they wanted to grow the sport, you need to collab with wrestling. Go to wrestlers. Go to collab with the judoka. I know they don't like us in judo, but somehow collab with the organizations, USA Wrestling, USA Judo. I think if you're going to grow the sport, it needs to be through the martial arts and specifically the grappling arts. Inviting CGI invites like Gable Stevenson and Pat Downey and Jason. Or the UFC BJJ did have Jason All. I think having those crossovers really help. Maybe even getting some pro wrestlers. Can we get some pro wrestlers? Can we get some crossover? Maybe throw Craig over there at WWE for a little bit. Bring in Ronda Rousey. I don't know. Balea says, IBJF's mission statement is to try to make everyone in the world train jiu-jitsu. Good luck with that. That's how we grow the sport. Yeah. Getting more average Joes and Janes doing it. And arguably, they've been successful. Masters Worlds and Jiu-Jitsu Con going to have 12,000 people, over 12,000 people. So that seems like a good metric. Viewers don't grow the sport. Practitioners do. That's true. I mean, you can get 1 million views and people watch for 2 seconds, 3 seconds. That's a view right there. Getting more practitioners. I think having the sport become more accessible. Because what I'm seeing is that the sport is getting so expensive. If you're in California or New York, I mean, if you're broke, you can't really afford it. So making it more accessible. I think Craig has been working with his Guardian Foundation. I mean, just do anything, Mikey. Mikey didn't say no. He didn't say how he was growing the sport outside of the views. So I think just having tangible plan, even if it doesn't work out. I just feel like a lot of stuff Mikey says has been falling apart, and I don't know what to say. I'm not here to defend Mikey. He needs to defend himself. Where were we? Says the fact Craig is asking people to buy tickets to CGI even if they don't plan on attending helps Mikey prove his point that the shady money source funding isn't even sustainable. Where do you think UFC got their money? What do you think? The only problem is that Mikey chose to side with UFC, which probably doesn't have any real interest in grappling. Balea says they're just marketing expense. And will drop it once they realize no one cares about the sport. I could see UFC BJJ being discontinued. I think UFC probably slap fight probably more profitable than UFC BJJ. Slap fight, the worst sport in the world. The worst sport in the world is more profitable than jiu-jitsu. So, I don't think the UFC cares to turn a profit on UFC BJJ. I think it's more about just keeping these athletes away from their competitors. You hear that, guys? You guys know I don't support UFC BJJ. The ONE FC grappling matches were quite good at getting fans to pay attention to ONE, and the BJJ to UFC pipeline has given ONE several good prospects like the Rotulos and Tonin. The UFC will eat a small loss on UFC BJJ since it keeps these people away from ONE and hence helps them maintain the MMA monopoly, at least in America. And it's also a small investment because some of these BJJ guys in UFC BJJ could transition straight to the UFC. I know Tackett says he wants to. Fionn says she wants to. I'm sure Canuto did one. Did he do a UFC fight? What's the girl that fought Cassia, the Brazilian girl? They used to compete a lot. She's in the UFC. Frank Mir's daughter. Show your neighbor a slap box TikTok, and then try to show him UFC BJJ clip. The one with Mikey jumping on one leg. Which one would they like more? I mean, yeah, probably slap fight. I mean, they both terrible. Slap fight is the worst sport in history. And that's still better than jiu-jitsu, so I don't know what to say. I think Mikey's hurting jiu-jitsu with his fight versus Harrison. That was the worst fight ever. I think that put more people off jiu-jitsu than anything else. The UFC will eat a small loss on UFC BJJ since it keeps those people away from one and helps to maintain the monopoly on MMA. And small investment because BJJ guys will transition to UFC. So it actually might be smart for them. I mean, I don't think they could do that with wrestling, but they can do that with BJJ. Craig is the entire reason exclusive contracts happen. He torpedoed ADCC a month out by stealing a bunch of athletes and counter-programming them. He laughed openly at Mo for having such loose, informal contracts. Well, you never had to sign a contract for ADCC. Maybe now. I didn't sign no contract for ADCC. But also, they didn't give me any money. So now companies are protecting themselves from Craig coming in to steal their athletes out from underneath them with a salary plus one. With salary plus $1. Edwin says, here in New Jersey, a membership for full access is around $200. I just do drop-ins when I can pay $100 a month. I know I'm doing better financially. I know jiu-jitsu is growing when it's more accessible. It's in the school system. It's it is getting more popular. It's getting super popular now. I don't know what else to say. But I would like to see it more accessible, especially for less privileged people. People that can't afford the $1,000 private lesson by Gordon. Balea says, UFC BJJ plan is to develop UFC BJJ champs to eventually go fight in the UFC. Oh, okay. Think about this. Who actually fights in the UFC that's a world champ elsewhere? They need UFC BJJ to help grow in core audiences. That's true. It will be a good feeder program because usually, jiu-jitsu athletes go to UFC BJJ after they've done everything in their career. So maybe now they can catch them early, like the Tackets. The Tackets really want to fight. At least Andrew definitely wants to fight MMA. And he might have a good personality. He does have a good personality, he's showman. I don't know if he's got any hands, though. I don't know what his hands look like. I just don't want Claudia in charge of jiu-jitsu. That would be the worst thing to me. ADCC told me yesterday that UFC BJJ athletes will be blocked from doing ADCC. Oh, no. Is that a good thing for the sport? I think that's terrible. And I think having that ADCC just makes you a better draw at UFC BJJ. But I think if you just say you just develop in a UFC BJJ environment, I just don't see that working out. You definitely going to be a slave to Claudia and Dana. You won't have no ability to really cross over. Really, I don't think it's good. I guess we'll have to see. Since I don't like Claudia. As soon as I saw her, anybody in that basement with Moneyberg, I ain't trusting you. You guys can trust Claudia. I mean, she'll screw you over. You know what she said about Kennedy? I heard that. I was like, man, shut up, Claudia. How dare you? How dare you, Claudia? How dare you speak on Kennedy like that? Claudia Gadalo. She shot all over Pan Am's publicly, but invited Pan Am champ Harrison to fight Mikey. That's terrible, bro. What was she thinking, Balea? What was she thinking? They couldn't find nobody better than Harrison. What were they? Why? Why did they do that? And the fact that Mikey took that match, why, Mikey? That was terrible, Mikey. Cobrinha must have loved her comments. You know, Cobrinha. Cobrinha usually not too happy. I'm sure he wasn't happy with her, and he wasn't happy with Kennedy. At least his second son, his new son, Jalen, did really well. I just don't know what to say, bro. I don't like her. I don't think she should be in charge. She was so mad because Zelina fought Sarah Galval for free at Pan Am's. They were brown belts. They gotta go. They need that title. That Pan Championship, that brown belt Pan Championship sets them up for the next level. Yeah, I mean, I guess they both could have done Fight Pass, right? I think Sarah Galval did Fight Pass. Did Helena do Fight Pass? She was so upset because they fought. Well, we would have watched them fight again if she could get both of those girls on. Why didn't they get those girls on the card or something? They could have been on UFC BJJ card, easy. But those girls, they need to do ADCC. They need to do CGI. Because that's a waste. Imagine they signed up for UFC BJJ and we didn't get those matches anymore. That would be terrible for the sport. That would hurt the sport. Mikey not fighting the best guys hurts the sport. Because she was trying to make them fight at UFC BJJ and they wanted more money. How much? I want to. I'm about to ask Belay how much did they want, but I mean, look at how the UFC treats their fighters. You think they're gonna treat the jiu-jitsu guys good too? They might give. Someone said Tackett got like $70K. They might give Tackett a little bonus, $50K bonus. Here you go. But there's nothing to say he'll get that $50K bonus next time. What if he loses? All right, Tackett, no $50K bonus. Belay says, so they said no to the UFC, then fought Pans free, hence Claudia's rants online. To be honest, that Pans means more. That Pans means more. She did. Who's number one? Okay. Yeah. Who did Sarah fight at? Who's number one? I mean, that Pans. They need to do Pans. They're you gotta win those tournaments. You gotta win the Pans and Worlds. Claudia, listen to Claudia. You wouldn't do World Championship, and you'd be stuck at the UFC BJJ with no titles. What does a UFC BJJ title mean? That don't mean nothing. You fought one time. Mikey fought one time and got the championship. Yeah, I mean, what does that? It means nothing. Whatever you want to say, having a title at IBJJF and a title at ADCC still means the most. Whatever you do, those titles at Pans and IBJ and Worlds and ADCC still means the most. Plot twist: she sat on Pan's titles. Then in Harrison's bio, when he fought, it said Pan Am champion. That's irony right there. She probably didn't even really realize that either. That's crazy, bro. Did we really want her to be in charge? And she's not even a world champion. I'm not a world champion either. But when Moneybird talks about her, he says she's a world champion. She got bronze at Nogi Rolls back in 2013 or something. There was probably 2 girls in her division. There was 3 girls in her division at Worlds back then. She should not be in charge of anything. Sarah fought Katie Carr at who's number one? Okay. Was it Gi or no Gi? Well, she fought something recently. Well, either way, she's going to be at CGI. 3 times world champ. Claudia? What world championship did she win? Moneybird only trained with the best. Man, I don't like Claudia, bro. Nobody can convince me to like Claudia, and I'm never gonna like her. Now, is she attractive? I'm not saying she's not attractive. Some of you guys are subscribed to the OnlyFans. I'm not. I'm not subscribed to the OnlyFans like you guys. You guys on the OnlyFans? What you got on there? Tell me what you got on there. Give me your login. Give me that login We can't show that on the stream. That won't do well. This is a family stream, guys. Family show. Aren't you the same guy that was saying J-Rod got kicked out for can't say? Oh Jesus, can't say that. Let me skip that quote, that comment. I do jiu-jitsu because I like the sport. Who cares? Apparently too many. This drama between jiu-jitsu practitioners is so stupid. I think you should not give a crap about what others do. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your jiu-jitsu, and you will never know why and how. You can't control what other black belts do, and it really pisses me off when I post something personal about my jiu-jitsu journey. Moderator removed it because it's not the right day. Who cares about your day, bro? The drama sells, and it's actually helpful. Gives people more reason to follow along, even if it's dumb. I mean, the bigger the sport, the more drama we're going to have. It's just the way it's going to be. And the more content I have. Just so you guys know, this channel didn't start off with me talking about drama about Mikey and Craig. We used to just watch videos, break down matches. But I don't know if we're going to break down any matches today. Says, man, BJJ is a bunch of drama queens. Yeah, that's true. Sure, he's a sellout, but considering Craig's whole point these last few years about grapplers not getting paid, and yet Mikey Musumeci, has found a way to have a career and get paid, it seems a bit duplicitous. Craig said to get fighters paid, not to get fighter paid, so plural. I can't say that Mikey has got more fighters paid. I mean, you know, if they join the exclusive contract, they can get paid and can't compete at ADCC or. I think that's actually hindering the sport if you think about it. You're going to take some good athletes out of the game and just funnel them right to the UFC, which is what they want. So I think if you're smart, if you're an athlete listening to this stream, don't, be careful signing with this organization. You might sell your whole livelihood for a little bit of money, and Dana White can just cancel this tomorrow. I'm not saying CGI will be around forever, but, you can springboard this and have a bigger following, get more seminars, create a school just from doing CGI. And I think it's pretty telling that Craig has been marketing all the athletes. He painted himself green. You saw the thumbnail. He had the Hulk, the green Craig. He over there dressing like Helena. He's promoting these fighters, these grapplers in a way you're never going to see Claudia do. You're never going to see Dana White do. Nobody else is ever going to do that. Jason Whitfield says it was no-gi, and that was Sarah's first no-gi fight. So for her to get that chance at CGI tells you her dad convinced Craig to allow her in. Sarah even said she prefers gi. She prefers gi, but she got to do the no-gi. She was going to have to do no-gi regardless. She's going to have to do ADCC. Her dad going to make her do ADCC for sure. She got to do gi and no-gi. Helena does gi and no-gi. So it's just the way it is. Team Atos be all no-gi. She part of Team Atos too, so she gotta go. Yeah, well, that's her dad definitely gonna I'm not gonna say sponsor. He's gonna what's the word? He's gotta push his daughter out there to go. He got his whole team out there. Might as well get his daughter out there. Dana White got to go. Craig Jones is a class act. Best promoter ever. What time is CJI 2 on? East Coast, West Coast time, bro. I'm not sure the exact time. I'll be out there, guys, but I won't be commentating. I'm just gonna be watching, observing. Hopefully, I run into Moneyberg or somebody. Hopefully, maybe Moneyberg might be out there. You think Moneyberg could be upset, guys? Oh, let me read that later. Let's see. What time is CGI? I don't know. He's a sellout, refuses to compete in ADCC, yet claims to be the best. Stayed in one, then who's number one, then UFC. He only goes against Gabriel Souza in terms of recent relevant opponents, then the Moneyberg stuff straight after. Mikey's his his recent actions, can't really be defended. Where are we? He might have his bodyguards jump on me. He's gonna have Mikey jump on me. He's not a sellout. The proof is in the omoplata. When Mighty Mouse said he didn't know who Lackland was, I zoned out. I mean, Mighty Mouse don't really know who. Mighty Mouse is in jiu-jitsu, but he don't really know who's in jiu-jitsu. Sarah said preparing for CGI was the first time she's ever done a camp for no-gi. I'm interested to see how she does. Well, to be honest, I think after she got her black belt, she got really serious about it, right? So I think before, school, boyfriends, whatever, yada yada, she just having fun. But I think once she got her black belt, it's become more serious. Maybe brown and black belts become more serious. And I'm happy for her. I'm happy she's out there doing that. Yeah, I don't think she's ever. Well, I don't know. She had access to the best no-gi in San Diego, really. So she should be okay. She's got Adele. She's got her daddy, Mirasaki, Barbosa, whoever she want. Her mommy. She got whoever she want out there. She could train with Felipe Pena. She could train with some of the best girls in the world. What's that girl that's over there? Monotero? What's that girl's name? I can't remember. That's over there. She got a ton of good girls over there at Altos. They got a whole girls division. I don't think Mighty Mouse doesn't know who Lackland is. That would be weird since Mighty Mouse is pretty involved in the sport now. I think it's more likely that just on the spot in a conversation. I mean, that's a pretty unique name. Lackland Giles? That's pretty unique. It says Mighty Mouse just didn't recall, especially since if someone asks, do you know who X is? I mean, if someone asks you if you know who Hodger is or who Marcelo is, you know exactly who they're talking about. I don't know. Louisa. Yeah, Louisa's over there. I mean, she got more girls to train with than anybody else. Like I know for I think Adele is over there too. Mikey is cringe a lot of the time, but he's doing exactly what this sub is always yapping about, being the most important thing for BJJ competitors, making money from BJJ. He promoted one, and now UFC, they pay him a good chunk of cash. It's as easy as that. Isn't that what you guys want, for BJJ athletes to get paid more? Yeah, but we still want them to fight and not duck everybody. For years, people on here have whined about how BJJ needs to get more mainstream and how making money from the sport is the number one way to make that happen. Considering how much this sub loves Craig, I'm also shocked. Only 5K of you guys bought tickets to CGI so far. Yeah, what's wrong with you guys at Reddit? So far, it's almost 900K members on this sub, and most are from the US. Isn't it dirt cheap for you guys to go to Las Vegas for an event like this? Like a couple of $100 for a flight and hotel. I guess the hype train about no-gi, killing gi was just an online thing, considering the biggest no-gi event of the year can attract more than 5K live audience. I think IBJF raised their rates, so that's why a lot of these guys ain't going to CGI. IBJF is taking all their money out their pocket. The Moneyberg thing alone is enough of a reason to not take him seriously in any capacity going forward. I'm tired of Mikey. Mikey is undeniably a sellout after that money turd stuff. He also calls out Fionn Davies for the same thing. For all her talk of trying to benefit women's BJJ, she's hurting it by going into an exclusive contract with the UFC. Belaya says, let's be real. Who's the real GOAT of grappling? Can we agree it's Hodger? And Marcelo's the people's GOAT, with special mention of Hoffa and Tedede. I mean, those are all. I can't really disagree with you. I mean, it's hard not to agree with that. Yeah. I watched the CGI promo video for CGI. Adele put on a good face, but you could tell she was not happy that Sarah was in the bracket. They are training partners. She was not happy. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's true. That is true. That is true. I mean, just go fight. At least, listen, Adele, I think you can win this. Go beat up Sarah Galval. Just go beat up Sarah Galval. If this was the Rotulos, they would have fought. They gotta fight and break each other up. If this was the Tackets, they would fight. I think she just got to get over it. Sarah is an up and coming athlete. It's just the way it is. Now they're not in the same weight class. You know, Sarah a lot bigger. Who else would they put in there? They couldn't put Fionn in there. Yeah, who else would they? I mean, Sarah she's a big name in the sport. She gonna draw the Brazilians. I wish they put Cassia in there. Cassia might be a good alternative. Cassia. Who else would be good? Margot's good. She's too small. I mean, there's some other girls they could put. I mean, Balea probably know better than me. There's some other girls they could have put in there. Gabrielle. If they put Gabrielle in there, that she would have won everything. A no-name Brazilian, well, no-name quotation air marks. A no-name Brazilian girl will win everything. If they put Gabrielle in there, that would be it. They could have put Gabby in there. There's some other girls they could have put in there. It says Marcelo the GOAT when it comes to grappling. The gi never dies, it just multiplies. What did Mikey say about Money Turd? He said he was smarter than all of us. he said Money Tummyberg knew more than most black belts. I think a lot of us got insulted by that. Adele is winning this. ADCC Adele could win this. Yeah, I'm going for Adele. Helena might do something. I don't know what Helena will do. Now, Helena and Sarah and Anna Carolina, they got size advantage. Anna Carolina, though, not sure the rules good for Helena's. Yeah, we'll see. Who's number one, Adele and ADCC Adele? Gabby Pensa. Gabby Pensa would have gone in there and won everything. Gabby Pensa, they couldn't put Gabby Pensa in there. Like, please. Gabby Pensa go in there, tear everybody up. Tear Helena up. Tear Sarah Galval up. Tear Adele up. Tear Anna Carolina. Gabrielle would have gone in there. Everybody would have been like, who is this Brazilian girl? That would have grown the sport. They could have thrown A-Rod in there. You know, you guys know A-Rod. I'm a big fan of hers. The Dream Art girl. TL, I got some girls too. I was about to say they could throw Jasmine Hosha in there, but she already got dealt with. She would have got taken out pretty fast. There's some other girls, man. There's some other girls out here. Well, who knows how to get his own? Well, he knows how to get his own image on the rash guard, so he's done beat me. Balea, make some rash guards with your face on it, bro. Prime Gabby from ADCC 2011 was on another level. Yeah, Big Gabby would have been good. Kendall would have done good out there too. She actually got some wrestling and some size to her. Kendall could have done good. There's some other girls out there. A-Rod has a love-hate relationship with Nogi. She hates it but loves the Pohada. I know she was complaining. She lost that match. She lost her match, was complaining, put that tiara on. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't defend homegirl. She put that tiara on. I was like, what is she trying to say? I'm a winner in my eyes. She put that tiara on. I couldn't defend her. I couldn't defend her. Well, what did Izaki say? I don't know what kind of relationship they got. I'm gonna stay out that. Izaki don't really like me too much, but that's all good. I like my Brazilian brothers. They could have put Margot out there, the girl from B Team, the sister from B Team could have done okay. What's the tall girl from Canada? Nah, I guess they couldn't put her because Adele likes her. What's my girl, Bia Mosquito and Bia Basilio? They could have put one of those. I mean, they've been getting torn up too. There's some good girls out here, but we need some more talent for the girls for sure. They could have put a Funegra girl out there. They could have put one of those AOJ Funegra girls and have all three twins out there, or triplets, whatever they are. They could have done some more. Mikey is quickly becoming a tool. I've lost a lot of respect for athletes that go into Moneyberg's little podcast, and we know that both Mikey and DJ did. DJ was on there too. Oh, I know DJ, Demetrius Johnson, DJ. Bianca Basile, yeah. Oh no, she had surgery. She's in she in UFC or one championship or something. All right, bro. I've been reading this for an hour. Wait. The Moneybird thing is getting old. It's still new. What are you talking about? Got hard facts for y'all. People buying belts have always been a thing. All the way back in the 50s, the Japanese masters were selling black belts to servicemen in under 2 years in karate, not in jiu-jitsu. In the 70s and 80s, Black Belt magazine was full of ads about getting your black belt or teaching license in 6-week program or whatever. Hinner and Horian started the Gracie Academy, where you could get ranks without ever stepping foot in the gym. Multiple celebs are claiming purple, brown, black belts from only doing private instruction with some bigwig, probably Higan Machado, that they're giving way too much money to. I don't like it either, but acting like Mikey is the devil for doing the same stuff countless others have done is stupid. If a guy ordered you $1 million for a black belt, you give him one too. Mikey is catching more flack than Jake Shields, because Jake Shields don't know what he's talking. Jake Shields got CTE. He's not really in the sport like that, but Mikey knows exactly what he's doing. Jake Shields, who actually gave the guy the black belt, Frank Mir and Glover Teixeira were also involved. I called them out too. BJJ has been a money-making scheme first and foremost since the Gracies first claimed to have learned the secret Japanese ways and giving privates to people in Rio. Lyoto and Gilbert on Money Tour's podcast made Belaya sad. Yeah, all them dudes. Lyoto, Gilbert Bird, Gilbert for sure be saying some stuff. He got CTE for real. Frank Mir, Jake Shields, Glover Teixeira. All of them dudes made me sad. I think Mikey was the nail in the coffin, though. When Mikey was defending Moneyberg, that was like, what the heck is going on? Because we don't really care about these other guys selling out. They're some of your favorite MMA superstars, but to have your jiu-jitsu superstars like Gordon Ryan and Mikey out there, that was pretty sad. And they be the first ones to tell you not a black belt. They be the first one to tell you suck, you not smart, you not as good as them, and they over there sucking up on Moneyberg. Frank Mir gave Chris Angel an MMA black belt. His first UFC fight, he beat Roberto Trapp. I remember that. Was it the mirror lock or something? Or an E-bar? And now this. Yeah. So we do kind of have to keep the old guys accountable, because they think because they were good back in the day, they can get away with all this crazy stuff. Mushmaster says, how much is the Moneyberg paying these guys is a real question. He paying them good. And sometimes, people are like, well, they're making a lot of money, but I'm like, at what cost, they selling themselves to this guy. As soon as they put that rash guard on with his face on it, something's up. UFC BJJ is a joke. Everyone wants to see the top level guys compete in packed divisions with killers. No one wants to see one match every couple of months against someone who is subpar. It's the easy way to get paid and not risk a loss. The UFC BJJ thing, I could see either position being reasonable. The Moneyberg thing is beyond pale. Absolute indefensible. This guy is an eccentric personality. Unfortunately for him, not the cool type. Craig is a crazy man, but I'm respecting him more and more for being unmistakably passionate about a path to grow BJJ as a overall sport and for speaking straight up truths. Mikey has completely tanked in my own books. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how fast your reputation can take a hit. So, guys, defend your reputation. do what you say you're gonna do. Keep it real with people, but your reputation means a lot, man. People are gonna remember this. Belay says we might do a fun bracket at the next Who's Number One. Who should we invite? Also working on bringing back someone to Nogi. A nice little bracket. I mean, I'd like to see Joseph Chin some more. Maybe Levi. Get Levi back out there. Get that rematch. Levi versus Joseph Chin. I like Wagner out there versus Kit Dell. I like to see the Masters guys. I like to see the representatives of the Masters. I want to see Wagner versus not Jacare. Wagner versus Marcelo Garcia. We need that matchup. Who else? Let's get Mushmaster. Let's get Mushmaster back out there. Mushmaster. Who you want to fight, Mushmaster? I heard Money Turpays and crypto and Costco gift card. I'll take the Costco gift cards. I spent a lot of money at Costco today. I'll take that Costco gift card though. Yeah, I want to see some of the old heads too. I like to see the young and the new guys. I kind of want to see Max Hansen back out there. Maybe let's get Owen Jones versus Grippo again. We've been trying to get that. Josiah been calling for that match forever. I want to see maybe Corbry and Pato again. Let's see that. Let's see them run that one back. The game needs Mushmaster, come back, bro. Mushmaster, come back. You got some unfinished business out here, man. Maybe Mushmaster versus Kynan one more time, or somebody like that. Let's get Big Dan when he's healthy. Let's get Big Dan once he gets whatever the crap he got on his leg. Big Dan be more sick than anybody else I know. I want to run Barrett Yoshida versus Megaton. Yeah, let's get these guys out here. That'll grow the sport. Seeing these guys out here. Levi can't come to this. What happened? They kicked him out of here. He overstayed his his visa. You guys might have to go to UK. Can you do Who's Number One in the UK? I want to see Margot. I want to see some more Margot because she did really good at Polaris. Mushmaster versus Mergali. Nah, Mushmaster might tear Mergali his shoulder off. Mushmaster might tear that shoulder off. He might take Mergali out for real. I'm not sure who Mushmaster would go against. I want to see Mika versus Elijah Dorsey one more time. Let's run that back. Can we run that back? Arthur D says, "Sup with my guy Alex. Surprised to catch this evening stream, Fitness Friday. Yeah, I had to stream late on Friday because I was training and went to Costco and some other stuff. Feel better, Big Dan. Big Dan had rhabdo, whatever infection, Lyme disease, kidney disease. What the heck is going on? So guys, stay natural, man. Don't be doing no crap like some of these people. Won't need Who's Number One in UK because we got a big UK event coming to Flow. Okay. Man, you got the people out there in Mushmaster. I'm worried about Mergali, man. He might tear his shoulder off. I mean, for sure, go for it. that thing gonna be like this. Yeah. Mushmaster gonna put him out. Nah, Mushmaster, don't take him out, bro. I like Mergali as an athlete. Yeah, not really so much as a person. Sorry, I'm smacking people. I'm hungry. You know I got a Costco cookie. He would pull immediately. Yeah. I mean, he would have to. That shoulder. Whew. Mikey is just a loser who completely devalued all the good stuff he did in the past by pimping himself publicly. He's a joke. Anyone with enough money, Mikey will say what you tell him to say. Pathetic. Yeah, Paulo Miao. Get Paulo out there. I really want to see Mikey versus Paulo. Can we get that match, please? Well, Mikey can't fight nobody. He's stuck in UFC. Dang it, Mikey. Stop being a crazy person, bro. TIL, his nickname is Darth Rigatoni. TIL, today I learned. I didn't make this stuff up. I got that from Wikipedia. We all know that, bro. Can't believe that Gabriel dude, Harrison, Mikey went up against, had never competed in no-gi until the match with Mikey himself. Craig exposing everyone. Mikey, Tackett, and Fowler. So pissed at those guys. At least own up to it. If they want a consistent paycheck, so be it. Geez, how long is this thread? Jesus Christ. Craig, just like Mikey, travels from place to place, taking what he can, then leaves as soon as there is a better opportunity elsewhere. He doesn't even have loyalty to the gym he co-owns. He found out playing this new character and self-promoting his brand makes more money, so he shows up like once a month and leaves. Only difference is Craig is funny, smooth-talking guy, and Mikey is a shrieking autistic dude. Mikey should not be representing us. Gio Martinez was right all along. Gio Martinez was right all along. Can we watch that match? What do I have over here? Arthur D says, I don't think Mikey is a sellout necessarily yet. Emphasis on the yet part. Many other people worked with Moneyberg. They sellouts too. all the people over there sellouts. Claudia, Jake Shields. I don't want to say Demetrius Johnson. He didn't even know who Lackland was. He don't know who Moneyberg is. Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns was defending him. I don't know. I'm not too harsh on the other MMA guys. They got CTE guys. Let's be mindful of that. It's selling out. Others are doing it. Wait. Mikey is just active on social media and made the mistake of speaking out. I don't think him working with UFC is selling out. Others are doing it too. He's just doing the best he can. He's an impressionable kid. He's not a kid. He's 30. He's 30 years old. That motherfucker. He a grown man. I know. He got CTE too. I'm a little bit more lenient with the MMA guys with all the CTE. He didn't know who Lackland was, man. He like, Lackland who? he said, who's Lackland? Imagine he said, who's Hodger Gracie? I'm like, Demetrius, give me back that black belt. If he said, who's Marcelo? Who's Cobrinha? Who's Hoffa Mendez? Demetrius, you sure you're black belt? How you a black belt? You don't know who's the legends of the sport or anything. One contract's worse than UFC BJJ ones. Oh no. I mean, you got to go all the way to Asia. They set you up. Just going to Asia, you be jet lagged and got to fight on a day's notice. Others are doing it. That doesn't mean. The thing is, Mikey's the one. He's the forerunner. He's the one that went over first. And he probably the one that sold Tackets and all these other people to go to UFC. And now the Tackets can't do ADCC, they can't do CJI, they can't do nothing. Who's number one? They can't do IBJJF. That's selling out to me. They sold out their future. That's the definition of a sellout to me. They selling out their future and the future of other athletes. The tism makes him a perpetual kid. Nah, he a grown man. He 30 years old. He a grown man. I'ma treat him like a grown man, a special grown man. But I was hella surprised Mikey didn't know Giles. Oh, Mighty Mouse. I said Mikey, Mighty Mouse. UFC and one preventing the best matches happening. Mikey, Fionn, Tackets, Mason, Rotulos all can't do CGI. It's terrible, man. So these organizations, I'm telling people not to sign up with them. And then you got Mikey defending UFC. You got what's my guy? Tom DeBlas defending one championship. And you guys saying there's more it's more stability on these cards, but man, they might drop you. They dropped Danielle Kelly. They'll drop UFC will drop a Tackett easy. Tackett lose one match, they drop him. Kennedy won his match, And they're like, you get out of here, Kennedy. You boring. You not exciting enough. Claudia told Kennedy he's not exciting enough. And Claudia can't even win a match in UFC BJJ. She wouldn't win one match against those girls that fought. She can't beat Frank Mir's daughter. She can't beat Cassia. She can't. When's Minnie Mouse podcast with Mikey and Craig? He might be able to get them both on there too. Oh, let's listen to Flow Grappling right quick, guys.
This is a little bit more on the B team side of things, less about the event and all that. But you did announce kind of recently that you're going to be stepping more away from B team, kind of letting those guys take it over, run everything. But I'm just curious on like that shakeup and how some of this plays out, especially when it comes to like the social media game and kind of the empire you've built with the B team YouTube channel and all of that. With you kind of branching off, kind of doing your own thing. I feel like maybe you don't want to make content anymore. Maybe you want to keep making content and all that. But like, how is all that going to work? You know, is like the B team YouTube channel going to stay like the in the gym guys? Are you going to do your own thing, or just what's all that going to look like after all of this?
Yeah, I mean that's interesting, and it's hard because we kind of like I just have not been around. I've been the absent father, you know, but I've had to like monitor the gym situation from afar, which kind of, I mean, I never wanted to open a gym. It kind of just ended in a situation. Like I used to talk to John and stuff about after the last 80 cc's I did, where I'd be like, I kind of want to just disappear. Like I was a bit of a nomad before. I wanted to like step away from the team. Like I remember before B team started, I'd always told John like that 80 cc, I was like, this is probably my last one. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like there's more enjoyable things to do in life than just train every day and just be too exhausted to even think afterwards and just like focus on it. Like I never wanted to be the dude that was like, and no disrespect to those guys that are like 42, like all respect to guys like Wagner and stuff that are still doing these main events at that age. But it's like, I'm just like, God, that sounds like torture. So in terms of the B team, I never really wanted to open that to begin with. It just ended up in a scenario where I felt like there was bad blood on the team. I felt like I had to sort of figurehead opening that gym, but my intention was never to build this B team empire, whatever. It was kind of to help those boys kickstart an out for them. So really now it's really just me just having not been around for so long, just passing the torch onto them. But I think it was like integral that the B team brand ends, because I think like my insane marketing and stuff like that sort of puts me at the forefront of a crew of guys that are more than capable of running the gym and doing the marketing aspect themselves. I think, yeah, just because I'm so focused on marketing and promoting that it like it overshadows some of those individual identities and their sort of accomplishments in the sport. So really, it just was a perfect time. It was like, well, New Wave's ending, New Wave's becoming Kingsway, and it was kind of like, well, I'm never around. It's probably time for these boys to make this transition. But yeah, running a gym sucks, you know, like it's like, I guess it's kind of all the worst parts about it being the promoter as well. It's like you're just managing relationships, like you're having to enforce things. It's like people treat the gym like it's their personal home and stuff like that. And then obviously there's a lot of dramas that just naturally unfold at any gym. And I really don't want to be the one from afar to have to manage those things. I feel like it should be the boots on the ground there that are like navigating those situations.
Do you know, is there going to be like a rebrand or anything, or are they going to keep the B team name and all that, or how's that going to work?
No. So yeah, so it's one of those things where I think like the B team is obviously synonymous with the group, but I think like it's so strongly associated with me and the legacy of me being a part of that team that it's really like crucial that they come up with a new gym name to separate themselves from, I guess, my brand name. So I'd imagine like they're having trouble coming up with the team name as it is. I mean, like when I suggested B team, that didn't go down too well at the start, but obviously I think it just was like, we used to joke about John has the seniors and the juniors. It's like, it was a joke on the elite and the other crew, which was us. So like, I think Nicky Rod and Ethan and podcast couldn't. Are we back? Did it cut out for a second?
It cut out for a second, yeah.
My shitty Vegas internet. No, so I think just because of the association and the history of me with B team, like, and kind of like I was in the top position in a sense of like decision making and all those other aspects, and even the coaching at the start, that it's like it's best we end that sort of legacy as it is now and let them build something from the ground up that's fully 100% associated with those core crew of guys, you know, because like it would suck because the B Team YouTube channel is so successful that like if you'd built your own thing and I was gone, but people were still I don't know, like talking about, oh, Craig, fuck Craig this, you know, like I think it's very important for their own careers and identities that they have something of their own there.
And so on September 1st, are we going to see Craig Jones again? Are you going to still make content? Are you going to be out there? We never see you again? What's the plan?
I need like a break. I think I'm going to disappear, turn my phone off, and just see what happens. I think like it's sort of a addictive cycle of like creating this content and stuff. But you also you kind of need an excuse to do it. I mean, we're working with Guardian and we've got the Fair Fight Foundation. We just opened a school in Peru. So we took some of the finances and obviously some personal finances to build a school down in Peru. And that's just been completed. So like, I would say my personal passion right now would be to be growing the sport at like a grassroots level. And that's like giving access. It's part of the reason I travel so much is like, I grew up in Adelaide, which is a lovely Australian city, but very few like bands would skip over that place. Obviously jiu-jitsu black belts and stuff traveling, like we didn't have access. So like I take pride in going to places people ordinarily wouldn't go and just exposing any level of gym to a perceived higher level of jiu-jitsu athlete or accomplishments or whatever, or coaching. So like I really take pride in that. So CGI, we're trying to build something massive that'll gain and captivate the attention of everyone. And it sets this goal of like the thought of, oh, we could maybe win $1 million in a single event as a jiu-jitsu athlete. But then on the grassroots level, I like building these gyms and helping these poor communities. And I would love the idea that this story comes to fruition one day where we built this gym in Peru. This kid comes out of there that's a killer, ultimately competes for a CGI event if we're able to keep this shit show running. And that would be like a fairy tale narrative to me. So in terms of stepping away, I will step away, but I'll have to return because I do want to keep building these schools. You know what I mean? Like it's a vicious cycle. I'm stuck, but I definitely do need a break. Promoting every single athlete, promoting the event. I haven't been in one location permanently for more than 2 weeks and probably going on 2.5 years minimum now. So it's like I just want to trap myself on an island somewhere, and then we'll see what happens.
Balea says Flo's growing the sport. I mean, Flow Grappling's put in some money in the sport, you know? Now, did they get their investment back? Probably not. They're probably not going to get their investment back, but they've invested in the sport. I'm trying to find I'm not even going to get. Maybe I'll read this one later. Can you guys even see that? I'm going to get to that later, but not today. I'm too tired. Flo definitely put in money for some of the shows I've been on, Who's Number One, and different reality shows, and a lot of stuff. Different documentaries. Even IBJF trying to do some documentaries. They put a little bit of money back into the sport. Balea, tell them to stop, get rid of the crown, and put that money at Pans or something. Or give us a discount or something. I don't know. For registration or says Craig not supporting J-Rod, but being okay with Gable controversy. Well, the difference is, Gable thing was 3 years ago. I don't know what exactly happened. That's before I was streaming. Wasn't following it too closely. But the J-Rod thing was at home, so it's a little bit different when you got to clean up at home. Gable, he does have a controversy, and other jokes bother me. I'm not the biggest fan of the jokes. I family show. I make my jokes, but I try to keep it family. I know for a fact that some of you guys, my homie Quan on here, he love all the B Team jokes. Says B Team has a video whose thumbnail is Craig looming his crotch over J-Rod on the couch. Well, that ain't me. You can take the jokes too far. I'm sure that's what happened. The behavior, you can take some of this behavior too far to where it becomes inappropriate. So, now that Craig's not there, I'm sure they're gonna have to really, really, really work. Before Craig was marketing and doing all the work, now Nikki Ryan, Nikki Rod, whoever's over there, Damian, Ethan, whoever's over there, they gotta they can't be acting crazy as much. They need to make money for themselves. So I can see them becoming more more professional. You might see them put on the gi. You might see them at a kids class. You don't know. And that's also part of maturing. They went through the crazy phase and now they're maturing. There's real money involved. There's their livelihood involved. But like it says, created more content media and invested more money into the sport more than anyone if you consider the time and volume of things they've done. And that shows you there's money in the sport. All those Flow Grappling subscriptions, they're making Flow Grappling making their money back. But they do put money into the sport. Different shows, Who's Number One, podcasts. IBJF. I think does Flow Grappling pay IBJF? I think Flow Grappling pays them $1 million, whatever figure, to cover their stories. But they send a team. They got a small team at Flow Grappling. They send that team to Brazil, Japan, Iran. They send them people everywhere. And those guys are passionate. They love jiu-jitsu. Now, they don't know everything about the sport. Some of the guys are blue belts and purple belts. That's true. But they out there working and traveling and riding and filming. They doing a lot of stuff. And I don't even think they get paid that much money. So they're working hard too. We got about 10 more minutes, so I'm not gonna read this Mikey PED thing. Should I read that? Nah, I ain't gonna read that. I might say that for next stream. As you guys know, I usually stream Monday through Friday. I'm trying to get this channel monetized, so maybe once I get some monetized this channel, once we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, maybe we'll get to that point. We're not at that point yet. Let's see. There was something I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. Hope you guys are having a good Fitness Friday. Go do some push-ups or sit-ups. Do something for me. So much content, bro. We got Mushmaster's boy, Mr. Malachi. He going to be out there at Masters Worlds. He might do well. We'll see. You doing rooster weight, featherweight, light feather? Allie, do you want to own your own gym? Not really.
Michael, please report check in. Michael, please report check in. Ethan Michael Pulte, please report check in. John Puta, please report. Sergio Santos da Costa, please report check in.
John Puta, you're now DQ.
Who is that? That looks familiar. You know what? Regardless, Malachi a winner because he married A-Ray, and I'm jealous. A little jealous of that. Mushmaster. I'm a little jealous of that, but shout out to him. He's the winner, real winner. He got him a good girl. I don't know her personally, but from afar. He a winner. So I'm a little jealous. Not gonna lie. I do get jealous, guys. I'm out here jealous too. That looks like a Mahecha brothers, not Mahecha. Orenday brother. There's too many brothers out here. I am jealous of Malachi. So yeah, good luck to him. He's gonna do well. He winning regardless, win or lose. He's won. He's good. My internet sucks. There was something I wanted to show. We might cover that Mikey thing. We'll see. Huh? So many stories. And I only talked about two things, guys. I talked about Mikey. What did I talk about? I talked about Mikey. I basically just talked about Mikey all day. I talked about Mikey for 3 hours. No worries. I initially found your channel when looking up penetration step, knee over toe drills. Yeah. No. I'm kind of like Craig Jones. I like to travel. And it's hard to deal with people sometimes. Maybe when I get a little bit older. I think if you want to have your own school, you need to have some life experience and some kind of sense about yourself. Because some of these people shouldn't be coaches. They shouldn't have schools. They don't deserve to have schools. Some of these people, they just want to have their own cult. They want to listen to themselves speak. And that's not me. I prefer being a student. Like, I go to class. I'm just a student. I sit down, learn the techniques like everybody else. If people need help, I might help a little bit. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Here's one guy. He's begging Dana White for a fight. He's actually pretty good though.
Also sign my friend, my boy, Marcus Degler, 11 winning streak, LFA L3 champ, the best pound for pound in Brazil. Please let us fight in Rio.
You guys know Dana White loves when people beg, because he's basically like an emperor. The fighter's begging, please, Dana White, please let my friend fight, please. I hate that stuff. You ain't never gonna hear me out there asking Dana White, please, Dana White, please, Moneyberg, please. I'll leave that to Mikey. I'll leave that to Mikey. Jason Whitfield says he'll teach the kid. All right, Jason. I might take you up on that offer, bro. That's why I thought you are already. I used to coach more. I coached a lot. I still teach. I don't really teach like I used to, but I used to teach for almost how many years? I don't know. Some years. Some crazy number of years. I respect teachers. My advice to teachers: don't take it personally. Do your job. It's a little bit different if you're the main instructor, you're the owner of the gym. But if you're just a coach, do your job and don't take anything personally. You seem to have a good sense of gym culture. Because I've been through some stuff. Been through a lot of crap, I love the sport, but yeah, I've been through a lot. I can't find anything. Let's listen to Gianni Grippo real fast. If you guys don't know Josiah, he's the one that always greets you guys when you jump on the channel. He loved him some Grippo.
Dagestani guy that ended up pushing Pata. He wasn't in a rash guard shorts. He was just in a t-shirt. He got to push him. That guy was on our team. This guy was on the Alion team, but he's buddies with all the Russian dudes. So he was over there. All he said all weekend was like, I want to smash Pato. And we kind of knew like they were going to put me in against everybody. They weren't going to put him in, even though he's very good. But I'm like, oh, look, he got his chance. He didn't really get to smash him, but he got in his face a little bit there. So he had his moment. Dagestani guy that ended up pushing.
I ain't gonna let no Dagestani guy push me. Actually, not in Eastern Europe. If they push you in Eastern Europe, just take it. Don't fight them in Eastern Europe. They might shoot you in Eastern Europe, blow you up. We got about 3 minutes, so I'm trying to see whatever story I got here. There's Craig again.
Another one got away. I've been trying to put a ring on anything for years. Little did I know, it just takes $100,000. Our next athlete is Anna Vieira. She'll be fighting in the 4-woman tournament, the highest paid women's tournament in the history of grappling. I know she already has a wife, but $100,000 says a lot.
We're still waiting to see how Mikey's growing the sport, because I haven't seen nothing tangible. All I seen is ducking. I haven't seen nothing. I'm trying to see maybe one more good story, guys, and I'll jump off of here. Let you guys enjoy your Friday. If you're training tomorrow, we don't have a name for Saturday. What's Saturday? Friday's Fitness Friday, but I'm not sure what Saturday is. So hopefully we get to 1,000 subscribers. My goal is to get to 1,000 before I go out to CJI, because we don't know what's going to happen at CJI. Balea might call out Moneyberg. Mushmaster might fight Mergali. What's going to happen at CGI? Last thing, we got Mr. Musumeci says, who's next to face Mikey Musumeci? So probably somebody that doesn't do no-gi. Maybe Sarah Gavao. who they going to put out? Moneyberg? No, not Money. I guess me. I got to go out there. Mikey might grab he might grab my foot though. The way I've been talking about Mikey, he might grab my foot. Let's see who might be out here. Who do you guys think Mikey should face? Pato? Somebody, Gio Martinez? We can't get that match. Mikey's still ducking him. Derek Lewis, nah. Give him John Jones. Anyone that at least has ADCC or no-gi gold, not a random black belt. Nah, he gotta fight a random black belt. Another scrub, I'm sure. The best fight ever that could be is Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse doesn't even know who Lackland is. He can't defend no heel hooks. Mighty Mouse wouldn't stand a chance in a pure BJJ fight. He does pure BJJ in the gi. Imagine how boring it would be to watch the UFC if they took away punching, kicking, kneeing, and elbows. Oh wait, slap fighting and bowling are more exciting than BJJ. Aw. Yeah, Mikey, I agree it would be really difficult other way. He already fought IBJJF championship and he's going to compete in it this year as a black belt. So I think with the fights he already got him, he could be a good who is that? Oh, I don't know who that is. Who's competing at IBJJF Masters? Mikey is? No, that's not. He not gonna fight Pato, bro. He needs someone that doesn't do no-gi. Is Mighty Mouse doing Masters Worlds? He might be. Owen Jones? Oh, that might be a cool match. No, we can't. We need Owen Jones to do CJI and who's number one. We need Owen Jones. We can't lose Owen Jones. Grippo. I don't think Grippo would do it. Let's get Paulo Miao out there or somebody. They for sure ain't gonna tap. That'd be wild. Paulo's. I don't think Paulo could take it though. His body's already broken. Diego Hayes, Diego Pato. Whoever we suggest Mikey's not gonna fight. He's gonna pick whoever Claudia tells him to. Yeah, I ain't got no faith in Mikey. I'm sorry, Mikey. I mean, Mikey doesn't owe us anything. That is true. He don't owe us. We got Mark Coleman. This last video, guys. Mark Coleman out here wrestling. So, Moneybird can't wrestle nobody, but look at Mark Coleman.
Get underhook.
Mark Coleman, he's strong still. Collar tie, heavy. Collar tie. Girl, snap down. Single leg sprawl. Okay. Come on, Mark.
Never the back. Don't give your back.
Who Mikey is?
Never the back. Roll your back. Roll your back.
Grandpa still beat you up.
We're halfway now. Try to get one leg.
Grandpa.
There you go. One. Keep scooting.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Oh no. Ah.
Yeah, you're gonna tap to that.
Let's
one.
go, baby. Woo. Woo.
Get underhook.
That's Masters Worlds right there. Mushmaster says he's fighting old, washed-up MMA fighters. So that's part of the course of Mikey. We don't expect anything from Mikey. All right, guys. I think that's it. I'm tired. I'm gonna go relax and get ready for tomorrow. I got to figure out my hotel. I lost my hotel in Vegas, so I got to figure that out. That's basically it, man. I'll be off this weekend. I want you guys to enjoy yourselves. Belay says, trivia question. Why do lighter weight fighters say ADCC is too heavy for them, but they do IBJJF, Phoenix Absolute Divisions? Probably just get them points. I mean, Mikey's the only person I hear saying, but Mikey actively cuts weight. Somehow. How's he cutting that much weight and he only eats pizza? I don't understand anything Mikey says, so I don't know. He says they're too big and they all the same goddamn size. He tall, he just skinny. So that's it, guys. I'm off this weekend. Eventually, once I get monetized at 1,000 subscribers, I'll probably do more streaming. But I'm happy. 3 hours. Who else streaming 3 hours? Talking to you guys for 3 hours about jiu-jitsu. Talking about Mikey for 3 hours. Nobody else could do that. Nobody. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think anybody else wants to do that. That's basically it. Next week we'll see what happens. I should be good Monday through Friday. And then maybe I might stream in Vegas, man. Maybe Belaya, you think you got time to be on the stream? Or are you going to be too tired? You might be too tired. Either way, I'm going to try to do the stream in Vegas. I don't know what the time will be. Diego is in the Army. My man said I'm going to the Army. Get some real benefits. I would like to get Craig on here. So we'll see. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm gonna get Balea or I'm gonna get Craig, but that'll be kind of cool. I mean, there's no rules on this show. There's no rules. I just talked about Mikey for 3 hours. I can do whatever I want on this show. We can do whatever we want on this show. So hopefully we can grow it, do some more stuff out here. So that's basically it. I'm about to dip, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening or day or night, wherever you guys are. And we'll be back on Monday, God willing, with more stories about Mikey and Craig and Gordon and Danaher and Mika. You know, for real, this sport, I just wake up, I go, who messed up today? Oh, he said that. Oh, Mikey did that. Moneyberg posted again. So it's a pretty fun job. I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy hanging out with you guys. It's fun. And that's it. If you guys want to support the channel, just tell people about the live stream. Tell them there's a crazy guy that talks about jiu-jitsu for 3 hours. As far as I know, nobody does that. I want Balea to start his live stream, but the Brazilians will find him. The Brazilians, Balea tell about a couple stories. That's it. The Brazilians will get him. Thank you, Balea. Brazilians will get Balea, bro. They're gonna find him at CJI, find him at Who's Number One. They know exactly where he is, so he can't say too much. They can't get to me though. They can't even find me. I live in Georgia. You better not knock on my door. You come to Georgia, they can shoot you, bro. You come to Georgia, they gotta. I might need to get a gun too, just to be safe. Mushmaster says another great stream. Thank you, brother. We might have to get you on here too, Mushmaster. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I enjoy this stuff. It's fun. I just talk crap and start stuff. Hopefully you guys get some value out of this. You know, we do talk a lot about jiu-jitsu, and sometimes it's kind of depressing, but I try to stay optimistic. You know, I'm going to keep trying to stay optimistic as much as I can. And keep trying to grow the sport. I'm trying to grow the sport too, Mikey. I'm trying to grow. What you doing, Mikey? How Mikey growing the sport? I'm trying to tackle those tough topics that nobody else can cover and bring light to stuff that no one else will. Alex doing the Lord's work. Yeah, we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to dip and see you guys, God willing, on Monday. And we just do it again, man. Do it again. So that's basically it, guys. Behave in Vegas. I hope so. I hope so. You might see me in a Moneyberg t-shirt. We'll see. I'll be in the Moneyberg basement. I might be in the basement right now. You guys don't know where I am. Moneyberg's right behind me. Balea can't go to Vegas. Oh, no, Balea. Oh, no. All right, man. I'll see you at something. All right, sirs. Thank you. And have a great Friday.